1, 2, check, Chuffy, 1, 2. Hi, you're with Scott. I'm Ganji Kid. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is your right ear and your left ear. We're in mono. Let me do a little sound check and then I'm going to get hard into it. What we're doing is, I wonder if calling someone a foreigner is racist. 1, 2, check, Chuffy, 1, 2. Hi, you're with Scott. I'm sound check seems fine. What we're doing today is, I wonder if calling someone a foreigner is a racist. Is racist. And I'm going to be talking about in-group, out-group psychology. I'm going to be explaining it all really fully. And I'm kind of, remember this, I'm kind of going to be saying, I'm right and you're wrong. So you've got to bear in mind, right, there is a part of me that wants to be like, I'm right and you're wrong. You know, there's a part of me that wants that because I'm human, okay? But there's also another part of me that thinks this is an important message, an important, the point that I'm making is really important and people need to learn it. And if they're arguing against me, oh, calling someone a foreigner is not racist, they really haven't understood this. So stay with me today. I'll explain it all fully. This is some relaxing Zelda music. I'll explain it all fully and we'll get to where we need to get to. It will seem a little bit like I'm, you know, blowing my own trumpet. I'm right and you're wrong. It's not going to come across particularly well in that aspect, but you know, at least I've said it already. Now look, I'm wearing my black for the Queen. I'm going to take this off now because it's hot. It's hot. So I'm taking that off, but I'm respectful. I'm wearing the black for the Queen. This week, last week, next week, got quite a lot going on. So I've not been on YouTube stream here, that ever present. It's by the by, it is what it is. I'll be back, you know, in time, don't worry. We're back with words on stream. I actually think we're going to do a big special words on stream for the King and give like a big chunk of money for that because I just think that's, you know, that's the way I want to go. Okay, so that's where we're at. Now then, I'll just check everything's working. Get my relaxing music turned. Why is it so loud in my headphones, you fuckers? Get that turned down. Check we've got the sound check. Go. Right. So where does this come from? Where's my episode coming from today? Some while ago, we did this episode called Martin Liedtke, The Dark Side. This episode, The Dark Side of Martin Liedtke, Tartaria. And what was happening was Martin Liedtke is at his event and he's got issues on the day and he calls someone a foreigner. He says, oh, this foreigner. This is the point. I'll get to it here, look.
Mate, it's only 20 quid, mate. Even if we didn't do anything, you should be grateful. It's just that a lot of people get together as a family.
So he's doing this flat earth event and this bloke's turned up and the bloke wants to come in, but Martin's saying, look, you've got to pay your 20 quid to get in, and they're having a bit of an argument and he's causing a bit of consternation at the door. He is licking his lips there, isn't he? Look. He's doing that. I assert that Martin shows some of the signs, the visible outward signs of cocaine use. He might just be anxious. And that does, like, when you're on coke, you do that. I mean, I'm not saying he's done a line. I don't know. This is last year. Just, they said it.
There's no information. What? You're coming to have a good time, you know, do, mate?
Or it could be his teeth or something, you know, I don't know. But he is showing that, you know, people who... Right, yep. He'd be very confrontational as well, isn't he?
Stop stressing yourself.
So Martin's obviously agitated. This is last year, and I don't know necessarily how this goes when like somebody that's not in the community, like someone that's an outsider, someone that's not in the community. I don't know how that goes. I don't know if Martin feels defensive, like these people might be there to debunk and, you know, and stuff like that. So maybe he's you know, agitated on that front. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for that, I suppose. He's thirsty. Someone suggests in chat, spirit level music. Lindsay says Martin has dentures. Yeah, so it might be that he's just licking his teeth. So there we go. I've qualified that I don't necessarily actually think that he's using cocaine. I was asking a question. I got given some answers in chat. I'm happy with that. I don't know. You know, they said about stimulants. I've seen people on cocaine chewing their face, and sometimes people who are... And we'll never know. We'll never know if it's his dentures or his cocaine use that did that. On stage, being a big celeb, I am. Big, or if sometimes those people are doing that sort of stuff. That's probably why they suggested it. I'm just going to skip on to where he says foreigner. Business. His wife's got all these businesses.
Filling up platforms, everyone. What's the time about anyway? 10 to 12, 5 to 12. I just had some foreign guy trying to stress me out like.
I just had some foreign guy trying to stress me out like. He said it again. I've just had a foreign guy trying to stress me out. Oh, he said it again. So he said it before on the walk in here, didn't he? Yeah, when he was talking to this. He's met this fella who.
Bring it buzz on you too. So bring any more energies in there. Just had a weird foreigner trying to stress me out.
Just had a weird foreigner trying to stress me over something. Like, so he's calling him a weird foreigner, this guy that asked him information at the door. It might be, like I said on this episode, that he's a foreigner because he's not in the Flat Earth group, or it might be that he's referring to him as a foreigner because he's not from the UK. So, you know, it might be because he's not from Wales, because Martin's Welsh, and English people are foreigners to them. It might be all sorts of things. I can't get inside his head, but that's what he said. It's there on camera. And I was like, oh, I don't like that. That seems a bit ugly. So then what we got onto was, is Martin racist because he said this? Now, I said in the video, that's not a way you say these things. That is a bit racist. And the people in chat and some people on the comments have contradicted me. Well, I've got a big special one that I want to talk about today. Hannah Hazard, she's the top comment here. Look, or the newest comment. Martin makes great vids. What the hell is this dribble? She means drivel. People, when they say you're talking rubbish, they say drivel. I'm really going to lay into Hannah because she's pissed me off today. Nonsense, don't talk such drivel. So she hasn't got a very good grasp of language to start with. That stands out to me. You, without a capital letter on Martin as well. So not a very good grasp of written English. You don't even make sense and can't, without punctuating it, can't, no apostrophe, string a proper sentence together. Nor can you, Hannah. You can't type a sentence. That's a sentence there, you haven't put a full stop on it. So already, what's standing out to me here, Hannah, I'm talking directly to Hannah really, what's standing out to me here, Hannah, is that you're accusing me of something that you yourself have problems with. So that makes me go, oh, hang on. Like, she's pointing a finger at me, like, oh, you are doing this, but she's doing it outwardly on the internet right now. She can't string a sentence together. She can't type a sentence. So it makes me wonder, is she angry about that? Is she angry about me? Like, there's some anger going on here. It might be because of her own feelings of inadequacy, because she's got problems with language. Anyone that makes 3-hour videos hating on others needs to take a good look at themselves. I think that's a separate sentence. We'll take that as a sentence. I'm not making hate videos. Oh, not even here against you, Hannah. It's not a hate video. I'm talking about the issues and the subjects. I'm not making personal ad hominem attacks. I'm not saying, oh, Martin looks stupid with his long hair. Martin dresses like a hippie. I have discussed his dress sense in relation to the context of him providing information and being a thought leader, but I'm not making, if you didn't know, Hannah, ad hominem means like personal attacks. Ad hominem here means it's like marked by being an attack on opponent's character rather than an answer to the contentions made. So for our example here, Hannah, it would be like me saying, you're a stupid, silly bitch, instead of saying, look, you haven't put a capital letter here, and you haven't put an apostrophe here, and you haven't put a full stop here. Like, there, I'm making an argument about your intelligence based on your ability to write the language. But when I say, oh, you're a silly bitch, it's just a personal attack. It means nothing. So ad hominem attacks are not useful in our arguments. They're just meaningless personal slurs, slanders. So they're useless when we're talking about the ideas that we talk about in these videos, which is like ideas, flat earth, convincing people of funny ideas so you can take money from them, using YouTube as a grift. I'm not making ad hominem attacks on Martin. I'm not making videos to say, oh, Martin's a fucking chuffer. I hate Martin, isn't he a dickhead? I'm analysing his behaviour, the things he said, and the content of his character. So maybe the content of his character could come across as an ad hominem attack, because it kind of is, rather than an answer to a contention made. But we're not making a contention in this video. The contention is we're looking at Martin's character. So that is an analysis as a way into deciding if he's honest and trustworthy in relation to believing his flat earth nonsense. Not a specific ad hominem attack, but I would accept that I'm critiquing his character, as I'm about to do with you, Hannah. Oh, you've lost your marbles commenting on my page, you chuffer. So, I need to take a good look at myself. It's not cool, or not cool, with no punctuation. You're not genuine and it shows. Maybe to you. To other people it seems that I'm genuine, and I know that I'm genuine. So again, I have to laugh that off, because what's that? You're pointing your finger at me, you don't know me at all. You've got no context. This is the problem with today, Hannah, is you don't understand context. You've got no context for me. You don't know me at all. You're watching this video on YouTube and you're saying I'm not genuine. And the irony is that how would you know if I'm genuine? Maybe you're being disingenuous because you're just a comment. I can't judge your you on that. The things you can judge me on are my actions over the time that we've been streaming, the things I've done. I think I seem pretty genuine because I've followed through with all my promises, and we give money to charity. And anyway, look, it's all by the by, isn't it? I feel I'm more genuine than the flat earthers who are spinning you a load of bollocks to try and steal your money. I definitely feel I'm more genuine than that. So we've got that on the go. We've got this horrible comment from this person, like giving me personal shit. What the hell is this dribble? You don't make sense. You can't string a proper sentence together. Videos hating on others, which is an accusation of hate, which I'm not doing, son. You're not genuine and it shows. Ad hominem attack. Thanks, Hannah. You haven't explained your position here. Martin makes great vids. You haven't explained your position here. So what I did was I replied to it. Thanks for your lovely sentiment. You see me as disingenuous and Martin not. Got it. Little laughy, little prayers. Please. I just explained to her back what she said to me. You see me as disingenuous and Martin is not. That's what I said. So I'm not being mean yet. I'm not being mean yet. We are going to come on today because the point is foreigner racist? So we're going to look, is foreigner racist? In-group and out-group psychology. I'm going to make a case on a reasoned argument for the point I'm trying to make here. And hopefully we'll all learn something, because I think Hannah's going around being a little bit racist if she's using foreigner in this way. I think Martin has gone around being a little bit racist. People have critiqued it and said it's not racist in chat. But I think it is. I think we'll find out it might be. And then they might learn to not be rude to people and not be racist by accident in their daily lives. They might rethink their behaviour. You've got to question the narrative. You've got to question your own narrative and what the fuck you're doing. So, with that said, let's continue with Hannah's comments. So, I've said, thanks for your lovely sentiment. You see me as disingenuous and Martin not. She said, that's how it comes across, yeah. Not yeah, yeah. That's how it comes across, yeah. Full should be punctuation again. It does annoy me a little bit when someone doesn't punctuate their sentences, because I find it difficult to read them. That's how language works. I mean, again, in capital letter for I mean calling, and she'll probably say, oh, I'm dyslexic, I can't punctuate, but you've got autocorrect. I mean, calling someone racist for using the word foreigner is one example, and looking for signs he's on sniff, I mean, takes one to know one right. So I'll have to take this in separate parts. I come across disingenuous for calling someone racist for using the word foreigner. Right, well, I'll make sure I'm genuine today, because I'll back it all up with I won't just say it as a thought. I'll show you all the thinking and the context that went behind it and where I got my thoughts from, and you'll understand why they're genuine. Okay? That's one example. And looking for signs he's on sniff, I mean, it takes one to know one. I'll deal with that right now at the top. I said about the chewing the lips and stuff, about, looks like, I'm not looking for signs he's on sniff. I saw some things and I thought, oh, they stand out. And I'll tell you what, takes one to know one. What you're saying here in your comments, in a sort of, it's a strange thing to say, isn't it? Because not only is it, takes one to know one, right? That's what she said. That's like a colloquial British phrase. And it means if I'm accusing you of something, the only reason I know to accuse you of something is because I do it myself. So everyone in the world who says, oh, you're a pedo, Jimmy Savile's a pedo, they're all pedos by her logic. Well, it's stupid logic, isn't it? It's obviously stupid. A lot of old wives' tales, a lot of, little little phrases that people use as wisdom, they're just bullshit. Many hands make light work. That's a little phrase like that. Many hands make light work. But they also say, too many cooks spoil the broth. So it's irrelevant. Just because it's a little phrase that your nan said, sometimes, like my nan used to say all sorts of these little phrases, and I'd take some of them to heart and live by some. But really, they're just little phrases that people used to say. They're not reason and logic and wisdom. So takes one to know one is not right. You don't have to be doing the thing to point the finger. Because otherwise, Hannah, you yourself are disingenuous. Because you're saying it takes one to know one. So you're calling me disingenuous. So by your logic, you are disingenuous. You're saying it on the internet. You're saying it takes one to know one. It says there, you're disingenuous. It takes one to know one. So I'm to read from what you're saying, that you're saying outwardly, oh, by the way, Scott, I'm disingenuous. Because you've said it on the internet. That's your feelings and your thoughts. You think that I'm disingenuous and you think it takes one to know one. So following that, you think you yourself are disingenuous. So what am I supposed to read from that, Hannah? Like, I'm only reading what you've said, Hannah. I'm only reading what you've said. So I don't believe that. I don't believe you have to be doing cocaine to notice that someone is doing cocaine. I will say, for factual reference, I've done cocaine. Oh yeah. I've done ecstasy, I've done acid, I've done magic mushrooms, I've done ketamine, I've done diazepam, trimazepam, you name a drug, name one of the drugs. I haven't done DMT because it breaks your brain in this very special way, and I don't want my brain to be broken in that way. I haven't done. What haven't I done? You see, it's hard for me to think, what haven't I done? Oh yeah, I've lived. Oh, absolutely, I've lived. That's how I know not to do those things. That's why I'm not down the local pub. That's why I'm on the internet talking. That's why I gave up alcohol. I've been through it all. I've seen it all. So I do come from some experience, yes. Yes, Hannah. And I'm not afraid to say it. It's part of my makeup, my character. It's what makes me strong. It's what makes me who I am. So absolutely, yeah. But takes one to know one. In a way, once you've sat around with a load of lads and seen them all on coke, once you've come back from the pub and they're all doing their lines again, you're like, look, I don't really want this in my house. You begin to know one. It didn't take me being a fucking cokehead to know one, but I do know one. I can see one. And I've seen it all over. I've seen how people used to think cocaine was the ambrosia of the gods. They used to think it was only posh people who did it. All the posh, Wolf of Wall Street snorking coke off people's arses. It's not that anymore. You get cheap monkey dust from the bloke down the pub. And if I go at my local pub, I only have a pub from Shameless. I only live on an estate. I've got an estate pub at my road, and I go in there, and half of them are on coke, and I can spot it. I'm not a fucking idiot, Hannah. But you seem to. Oh, I'm not going to ad hominem. Not ad hominem. So I've replied, Hannah, are you saying I use cocaine? ? I'd like you to be more brave and bold in your statement. Tell me you think I'm using cocaine, and I can do you for libel or slander. I wasn't calling someone foreign race. I wasn't saying calling someone foreign is racist. I'm certainly not. You can call someone foreign. They are foreign. This is foreign to me. It's not racist. However, I was implying the context in which he used it, and this is where it's important, referring to the man as a foreigner, distinctly defining him by not being British, therefore an outsider, and he called him, in his own words, didn't he? He called him a weird foreigner as well, so we've got a negative context there. It was akin to in-group psychology. I'll explain what that is. Don't worry, I'll explain what it is. In case you didn't go to university and study psychology, I'll explain it for you. I'm being really condescending there, I'm sorry. I am sorry. But let's be fair. Someone's come on the internet to give me some shit. So I feel a little bit like poked at. And because they're so wrong in their position is so invalid, it's easy to rip them. So I am going to come across as condescending, and I do apologise. At the end of the day, I believe we're trying to help people come together. That's the process of my content. So if I'm really mean to Hannah, I'm not going to win the war here. What I'd like Hannah to do is to think. And by being rude to her, I'm not helping her to think. She's been rude to me to start with, so now we're on this back and forth. And I'm now a good example for people of how not to live in a way, aren't I? How not to react. I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm trying not to go mean and, oh, fuck you, Hannah. Because it's easy in life, isn't it, when you feel a bit defensive? Someone's having a go at you. It's easy to come out with that. So I'm not doing that to Hannah. I'm being a little bit careful. But at the bottom line, I am really. And we're going to do a bit more of it as well. Because look, Hannah has been doing these videos on YouTube. She's got 5 subscribers. So I know that. I'm on YouTube. Maybe she's a bit angry at me because she's not getting any views and I am. I mean, I don't get loads of views, but I definitely get more than Hannah. Hannah doesn't know how to work YouTube or what to do. She plays a game on her PlayStation. It uploads it for her. And she doesn't edit it. She doesn't title it properly. Oh, God. That sounds horrific. She doesn't edit it. She doesn't title it properly. There's no commentary. In fact, I don't know why she's uploading it to YouTube. Why bother? Because this is not going to work. That's a picture of her face there, I think. But when you click the video, it's not actually anything, look. So I don't know what she's doing, but she hasn't really got a hold on how to work YouTube yet. So maybe she looks at my channel and she feels a bit, jealous or something. Because, I know what I'm doing at least. Even if I'm a little bit rough around the edges. So that was me being mean about Hannah, wasn't it? That was an ad hominem. That was me being mean if you want to hear that side of things, which I don't think we should be doing. So we're going to move on from that. Where's my replies gone? That's a bit weird. I'm not deleting comments. Where's my... You just saw them. Where are my replies gone? I just went back and forward and my replies are gone. Oh, there they are. Okay, we're back. So now we're going to get on to... we've decided that Hannah's a bit of an idiot, haven't we? We've seen that she can't construct a sentence. We've seen that the things she accuses me of are things that she herself does. Can't string a proper sentence together. Make 3-hour videos hating on others. Well, she doesn't hate on others, but she makes useless YouTube videos. Not genuine. She's not genuine, is she? She's not on the internet with her own face talking like I am, being herself. Where are you being genuine, Hannah? You're doing these comments and it's, I don't know. So, and then she's saying it takes one to know one. So that invalidates everything she says. Because everything she says about me, she is. She's telling me she is. So we've got that. She's tried to cast aspersions on my character and slur me by accusing me of taking cocaine, but she hasn't been brave enough to say it directly. And I've told her where I could stand on that. So now let's discuss why the things she's saying, like the content of her actual idea, is wrong. And why I'm right. Let's see why I'm right and she's wrong. But it's not about me being right, really. What it's about is people understanding how to use language and how being rude in public and being right. If you don't understand that you're being racist or demeaning to someone, imagine this as a woman. A man explains something to you in a very boorish and, like, they call it mansplaining, don't they? And he doesn't even realise he's being sexist. Doesn't even realise it. Thinks it's just normal. You know, how frustrating is that? So I think that we should analyse, because there's a few people who have left this incorrect comment. It's not just Hannah. There's a few people who said saying foreigner is not wrong. Calling people, like, here's another one. Esoteric gardening. Since when is calling someone a foreigner racist? So they haven't understood the context. And if people are going watching this and getting confused, I'd like to clear this up because it's important. It could help other people, not make some more people feel bad. If Martin's accidentally making someone feel bad, like, oh, he was racist towards me, that's horrible, he don't have to do that. We could help him out of that. So this is about helping people, really. So here we go. Here's some stuff that I've learned. In groups and out groups, this is the first point. You need to set context. Things are all context in the world. Do you know what context means? For Hannah, just for Hannah here, context means the circumstances that form the setting for an event, statement or idea, and in terms of which it can be fully understood. So calling someone a foreigner in isolation is nothing. It's neither good nor bad, it's just nothing. You're not able to judge things without the context. You need everything else around it to understand. If I'm in the Houses of Parliament and I'd stand up and point my finger at Nadim Zahawi, who was originally from Iraq or Iran or somewhere, and ended up being a fucking chancellor somehow by buying his way into it. Anyway, look, if I point my finger at Nadim Zahawi and we're like, you foreigner! I mean, that is different, isn't it? From being working in a post office and someone coming to the window and saying, I'd like this postie Spaino, and I say, oh, are you from a foreign country? You know, there's a different context, isn't there? It's different. So using the language in its strict and black and white form, saying the word foreigner is meaningless. You have to have context around it so that you understand whether it's a pejorative or a promotional tool or a question. You need the context. You know, I could be saying, like, foreigners getting free. Then it might be good to be a foreigner. Or, like, I love the foreign languages. Like, that might be good. But I fucking hate these foreign bastards might sound bad, mightn't it? So it's about context as well. And the meaning of the word can slightly change due to the context. You can actually change the meanings of words due to context. So now we're going to have a little read about in-groups and out-groups. This is why I believe that the context here, what Martin is saying, this is why I believe, and I've said it outright on the internet and been criticised for it. Of all the videos people suggest.
Do I know you? No. Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you, my friend. Wicked buzz on you too. So, bring any mad energies in there? Just had a weird foreigner trying to stress me out and fuck off with that shit.
Just had a weird foreigner trying to stress me out and they can fuck off with that shit. So, you know, I wonder if Martin has used that in a negative way. Let's see, right. In groups, out groups, and the psychology of crowds. This goes deep, but Susan Krauss here has, on Psychology Today, written quite a nice article that explains it for the layperson. And so we'll do this. It's a well-known principle in social psychology that people define themselves in terms of social groupings. You understand that, don't you? And are quick to denigrate others who don't fit into these groups. What? All right, I'm a Birmingham fan, you fucking shit villa. I shop at Asda, you Marks and Spencer wanker. You Waitrose wanker. Thinking you're so tough, thinking you're so chuffer, thinking you're so posh, you Waitrose wanker. We live in this part of town. That part of town are wankers. They're quick to denigrate others who don't fit into these groups. I like K-pop, you fucking hip-hop twat. I like hip-hop, you K-pop wanker. Like, you understand what I'm saying, don't you? Once you're in a group, all of a sudden, there's an out-group. You're in an in-group, and they're in an out-group. I've got to be relate this to ASMR in a way, because ASMR grew as a thing, and I was in it, and out of it, and in it, out of it. Like, you can join a group. Do you remember ever joining a group? Have you ever been the new person to the group, and there's someone in the group, and they, I don't like you, you're not part of our group. You're not a real ASMR person. You're not a real gamer. You don't do it like we do. You're new, so you don't count. You're not proper like us. You're not a real flat earther. Whatever. You know, you've heard these people like that, haven't you? And you personally might have felt a bit, oh, do they not want me here? Am I an outsider? When do I get to join the group? How long do I have to stay before they'll accept me? In groups and out groups. It exists, categorically. Others who share our particular qualities are in group, and those who do not are out group. These are psychological terms that we use to define things from a academic perspective, so that we can talk about things in classrooms and create ideas that mean something more than I know you are, but what am I? Or it takes one to know one. You know, these are actual ideas. Sometimes groupings are determined by factors intrinsic to who we are: sex, age, race, ethnicity. But that's foreigner, and that's where we're going to get to that. But in other cases, they're arrived at in a somewhat arbitrary fashion. If you grew up in Boston, you're a Red Sox fan. If you grew up in New York, you might be a Yankees fan, and you fucking hate each other, don't you? The accident of your birth determines whether you wear a baseball cap decorated in Red Sox or interlocking initials. Red Sox fans think there's something very disturbed about Yankees fans, and of course the feeling's mutual. And it's ironic because they're just normal people who both like the same thing. This is one of the issues with football support in the UK, is we all support football, but I can't sit next to you and talk to you because you support the other team and we fight. And yet when we support England, we both support the same team, and it's just silly. And like, there's no difference between someone from Manchester and someone from Boston or wherever, but really there is, aren't there? Oh, I'm a Manchester person, you're a Boston person. You know, it's this in-group, out-group thing. And when you learn it and when you understand it, what the wonderful thing that I encourage us all to do is to fucking abandon it, because it's useless to us. It causes all problems, I'll show you. The arbitrary nature of in-group, out-group distinctions between fans carries over to many other everyday situations. For example, consider the distinction between pedestrians and motorists. When you are the pedestrian entering a crosswalk, you feel entitled to take your time and make it across the street. Hang on, these fucking cars are beeping. Hey, wait for my nan. Hang on, I'm on my fucking phone. You just give me a second, you dickhead. The drivers in the cars who are waiting for you to cross the street just have to wait. In fact, you might hurl an insulting comment. Chill out, buddy. Now you're in the car, now you're driving, and you're waiting for these chuffers. Get out of the fucking road, you dickhead. I'm a fucking driver. I've got places to go. You are the same person, but in both situations, you're on both sides of the coin. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? You're in the in-group and the out-group, depending on where you are and what you're doing. Your agitation and annoyance builds as you watch the idiotic pedestrian stroll in front of you, seemingly oblivious to everyone else. A few choice insults might come to your mind as well. So we know it goes on, don't we? And now we know that you can be in both groups as sort of an arbitrary thing. It's either where you're born or whether you're in the car or on the sidewalk or, footpath. There's lots of different reasons for you to feel personally attached to a group. It might be where you're born. It might be what you enjoy on the telly. It might be anything. And it can be something as simple as, I'm in the car right now. And remember, the truth is that when you get out the car and you're not near the pavement, you're no longer in either of those groups. You are in the human group. We're all in the human group. And the more we make these devices, we talk about a class divided here. I'm not going to go too deep onto that. But the more we make these divisions, the whole point of what our governance is trying to do to us is to divide and conquer. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And the more we're arguing each other, the common people, the proletariat, the masses, they're making us hate the masses when we should hate the masters. Remember that. So, here's an example. In 1968, the day after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., Elliot decided to address the problems of racial prejudice by dividing her third grade class into groups on the basis of eye colour. As profiled in the documentary, Elliot showed how easy it was to turn her 7-year-olds into hate mongers by making the brown-eyed children the targets of discrimination by the better blue-eyed children. Within minutes, the blue-eyed children sadistically ridiculed their unfortunate classmates, calling them stupid and shunning them in the playground. So what she did was she said, right, your blue eyes white and your brown eyes brown, can you sit apart, please? We're having two separate ends of the classroom today. And by fucking playtime, the white kids were like, nah, brownie browns, brown eyes bad. By playtime, it happens naturally within humans. When you're grouped, you find, and we'll come on to find why, because there are reasons why. It's a defense mechanism. I'll let you into the secret. It's a defense mechanism to point your finger at the other group and say, we're the better ones, you're the shit ones. This also happened in the UK as far back, and we've got, I think it was Cohen, Folktales and Moral Panics. Stanley Cohen. If I type that in, Stanley Cohen, and I type in Folktales. Yeah, Folktales, it's Stanley Cohen, isn't it? Folktale. It's a book, Folk Devils and Moral Panics, the creation of mods and rockers. So it's a slightly different aspect of sociology and psychology that's happening here in this book discussed. But it also talks about the fact that you've got mods and rockers. Like, as far back as groups go, you've had alternate groups that attack each other. I like mod music and I like my scooter. And I like rock music and I've got a motorbike and long hair. And really, we're very similar because both of our favourite things include bikes with wheels and music with guitars. But God help us if we stand next to each other on the bus stop, because we'll have a fight. Oh, what's going on there? Well, it's how it works. So you can read the book, you can learn about it. I have done, I know. I'm so good, you're so shit. I'm so good, Hannah, you're so shit. I mean, I'm going to come across as a condescending wanker here. I'm on my eggy. I'm a bit agitated. The Queen has died. I'm wearing my black. Mom's actually going to go down to fucking London. I feel agitated about certain aspects of life this week, and I've got a lot on my plate. I'm setting up a second room upstairs. I'll tell you about it at the end of today's episode. But we're on. We're here. I'm talking. This is important. So now I've explained to you that it can happen automatically through human behaviour. If we're not careful, children will just do it naturally. They'll bully someone who's different to them. They'll bully someone who's different to them. If you're not careful, you can fall into that trap too, because it's human. So I'm not saying, oh, you're a shit person for doing this. I'm saying it's natural and human. And what we've got to do is understand it. We've got to see it for what it is so that we can remove ourselves from it. If you don't know you're doing it, it takes one to know one. If you don't know you're doing it, if you don't realise what the mechanisms are, I didn't manage to stop drinking until I drunk quite a lot and was able to see the mechanisms at play and say, hang on, I'm doing this. I need to step back from this. Otherwise, I'm lost. When you're bullying someone next, please remember, Hannah, when you're next on the internet posting a comment, when you don't agree with something, what the hell is all this dribble? You mean drivel? That's okay to, criticise the content of my argument. Maybe explain why you think it's drivel. You don't even make sense. You can't string a sentence together. That's ad hominem attacks. You're just saying like, oh, you've got a big nose and shitty hair. Anyone that makes 3-hour videos hating on each other needs to take a good look at themselves. I have done. I do. That's why we're talking about this social psychology. I'm explaining some deep aspects of your personality, Hannah, that you don't understand. My personality that I do understand. Not cool, you're not genuine, it shows. I hope I'm being genuine. I'm trying to help you, Hannah. But nowhere there have you critiqued what I'm actually saying, the content of my content. You're being mean to me, Hannah, on the internet. So you've decided to come on the internet and be mean to someone because of the video and stuff. It feels a bit like you're being a bit of a bully, Hannah. It looks like you're being a bully. It looks like it on the internet to me. It might feel to you that I'm being a bully to Martin, but thankfully I've given some reasonable opinions as to why I think these things, and I'm backing it up with facts. So here we go. Continuing. Since the time of Eliot's astonishing demonstration, social psychologists have continued to hammer out the causes, consequences and correlates of... I love that sentence. Well done. Who's written this again? Susan Krauss, PhD. Susan, I like your writing. I like your writing. I mean, that was a really nice sentence, wasn't it? Since the time of Eliot's astonishing... Sorry, let me read it properly, because it's a good one. Since the time of Eliot's astonishing demonstration, social psychologists have continued to hammer out the causes, consequences and correlates of in-group, out-group stereotyping. There are now thousands of studies on the topic, so it's not like a one-off. This isn't someone had an idea and it turned out to be a shit idea and they threw it away. This is, I've had a bit of an idea. What do you think of this, my peers? Thousands of peers have gone on and said, okay, let's check it out, let's test it, let's see it in action. Oh, I like it, you're right, good idea. In fact, I think this to add on to it, and I think maybe that. Lots of it. Thousands of them. So perhaps the most promising work examines the basis in the brain circuitry of in-group processing. It might be a survival instinct, it might be evolutionary thing that we developed. Now we're at a point where we don't do what we used to as apes. We don't have to attack the biggest one in the group and pull their arms off, or we don't behave like apes anymore. Our primitive drives can be abandoned in some cases. This is one of those where if we're going to modernize and become a future, cohesive, progressive human race, we need to abandon some of these things. So learning that it's part of you and how to deal with it is important. One recent study conducted by the University of Missouri researchers showed the effect of in-group identification becomes even more intense when people are made to feel threatened. So if you're feeling threatened, remember Project Fear? They were talking about the government and the COVID, Project Fear. I'll tell you what makes people more scared than COVID: not having any money. Worried about inflation rates, worried about the economy, the recession, not having any money. That's Project Fear, and they're doing it right now by screwing you over. They're making you worried, and when you feel worried, you feel threatened, and when you feel threatened, you're more likely to have these intense feelings of anger about other groups. So it's more likely that you're easier to whip up into a frenzy about these other groups. Oh, the fucking race, other people coming into my country. Oh, these, your Nigel Farages are now getting onto you and whispering in your ear. Oh, what about the immigrants? Well, the immigration problem only makes up 1% of our total population problem. It's actually the birth rate of these people who have children and can't afford them and therefore rely on the state. There's for every one immigrant, there's 1,000 kids being born in our country into poverty. So it's out of balance. The immigration argument is irrelevant, Nigel. What we need to do is focus on the economy in our country. Oh, right, and then it turns into this always politics. So making you feel worried, making you feel threatened about your position by making you poor and by making the economy shit, then you're going to have a knock-on effect of pointing the finger at other people. It's proven. We turn to those in our in-group when we feel we may be at risk of physical harm. If someone's going to attack you, you're going to group up. I don't know if you've ever seen this in the playground, where there's maybe, I'm not going to say a girl because I'm not being sexist anymore, but maybe there's a person and they egg he said, she said, and they egg people on to have a fight. Or someone says something to them and instead of saying to them back, I used to just have my own fight. I didn't need everyone else to back me up. I'll fucking stand my ground, and my mates will back me up if they've got good mates, and if not, I'll fucking fight alone. Right? A group of you, fuck you. I'll come at it. Whoever's first is going to get it straight in the eye. Who wants to be first? I'm happy with that situation, but I've also been bullied and outnumbered and lost the fight. I had someone hold my arm down while the others jumped on it at school, and silly schoolboy stuff. But I remember what it was like to be, on both sides of those, not the bully team, but on the wrong side of the coin there. So we turn to those in our in-group when we feel we may be at risk of physical harm. Some people don't come and front you. Some people run out the back of the pub and grab their mates. This happened to me in the pub once. I was having an argument about racism. I was basically saying racism is bad, and I think that Britain First is racist. And this lad, instead of arguing with me, ran out the back to get his mates. Pussy hole. So, this goes on, don't you? You know this goes on. People turn to the group when they feel at risk of harm. They don't stand their own ground. Hannah, I will say to you, at least you're standing your own ground here and having a go at me on your own. You're not doing it as part of some Facebook group, so that's good. But I don't know what Facebook groups you're involved in, but, bear in mind groups here. We're talking about groups in negative terms, remember. We still haven't got onto is foreigner racist. We've got a law expert to help as well, so we're going to look at that. Elliot's experiment became the basis for her life's work. She now conducts workshops, Is there some survival mechanism? This is conjecture. It's an article to talk about these things, so you'd have to go deeper. Remember I said it went deeper? There's thousands of studies now. The original studies have been done. I learned about them at these studies when I was at college, retaking my A-levels because I fucked up. So I know about this for years. So it's been going for years. I was at college some good years ago now, say 20 years ago, maybe more. So it's been going on for years and they've been doing loads. So you can't just fit it all in one article, fair enough. But you need to work hard to avoid the dangers. That's what I said, of the in-group, out-group trap. Exactly. Don't fall into the trap, Hannah, of being some kind of bitch online, just throwing out ad hominem attacks. Don't fall into the trap of getting in with your group and pointing the finger at the other group. You might end up being a fascist like Hitler, who wanted the Jews to go to the death camps to help the in-group of the German, white Germans. We're the good group. We need an out-group to point at. We need somebody to vilify. Let's do it to the Jews. You could fall into those traps if you're not careful, Hannah, if you start pointing fingers because of group psychology. Here are some suggestions for tearing down those real and virtual fences. 1. Recognise the arbitrary value of many in-group, out-group distinctions. I'm not a Birmingham fan really, although I've got a tattoo on me to prove it. I'm just someone who was born in the Birmingham area, whose dad was a Birmingham fan, who was told to be a Birmingham fan. And I used to rip the piss out of the kids at school who decided to support Man United or Liverpool because they thought they were good and they were winners. Fuck you, you glory supporting cunt. I support my local team. And I was proud of that. But now I need to realise that choosing whichever team you want is absolutely fine. And that I'm not born a blue. It's something I took on and decided to apply to myself because of the group around me telling me. But if I'm a wise and forward-thinking human who wants to be part of a global community, oh, globalism's bad. Well, where are you getting your beans from? Where are you getting your economies of scale from? Globalism helps in some ways. Oh, globalism's bad. Well, how are we going to fix the climate problem if we don't all come together to agree and move forward? Oh, globalism. Okay, we're not having a political discussion about globalism. They use the word globalism in political terms to make you think that coming together as a group is a bad thing in terms of social cohesion, don't they? In another way. Forget globalism and nationalism. What's the opposite of globalism? Nationalism. Is nationalism good? No. But I'm just a patriot though, so it's good. Fuck off, you silly bugger. Being a nationalist, small-minded groupthink, bad. So anyway, number 2, put yourself in place of the out-group member. That's what we're going to do today. I felt when I watched this, instinctively, I didn't think how Martin feels. I talked about it. Not necessarily so worried about how the people in the audience feel. I am a little bit, and I will talk about it. But really, I said, what if you're that guy he just fobbed off? I don't answer your question, fuck off. And you can hear him say, some weird foreigner just fucking, what if you're that guy? How do you feel? Having empathy for those less fortunate than ourselves, for those on the wrong end of the coin here, or the wrong end of the pokey stick. You know, I might not seem genuine to Hannah, but I feel I'm always taking that side. I'm always looking through those eyes. Maybe it's because I feel that way myself, you know, I don't know. But try and put yourself in the place of the out-group member. I have been an out-group member many times. I've been the kid that was bullied at school by the bullies sometimes. Not all the time. I'll tell you what I did. I was in the fencing team. So the rugby team, big burly rugby lads, used to take the piss out of the fencing team. Oh, you wear white costumes. What was really going on was I was in the British fencing team. I got through to the national rankings and I got into the world championships. So in assemblies in the morning and they read out my name, I went up there and collected a medal and a trophy. And I was read out in chapel and assembly. My name was called and I walked up there with the pride of the school behind me for fencing. And the rugby team didn't get that. They didn't get into the Daily Mail Cup final and the England team. They were just, not as good at their chosen sport as I was. So there was a bit of jealousy there, wasn't there? There was a bit of in-group psychology. Oh, you're a dickhead because you fencing. I'm great because I rugby. Like, fuck off, you pricks. So I've been there and I've felt it. So maybe I've been in the place of the out-group member and maybe it's easier for me to feel this. I don't know. But the little kids in Jane Elliott's classroom were sad and afraid when they were suddenly thrust into the role of out-group. Think about the times you've been put in an out-group position and how painful it was. Think about that. You should do, shouldn't you? Because you would never want to inflict that on someone else. I never want to see someone suffer. And the main reason was because I've suffered. Now that sounds selfish, doesn't it? It's because I've suffered. But really, I know what people go through. I know what it's like to be hungry. I'm very lucky that I had enough money going around. My mum worked hard. She went to a full-time job while I was a single parent family, so she had a full-time job and that's why we didn't go hungry. But there have been times when I was at uni eating pasta and gravy and waiting for my next paycheck and ringing up mom, can you put some money in my account, shit like that. And she didn't have much money to put in my account. It wasn't like money's flying around. So I've been really poor. I've not lived in awful poverty like some people do, but I've seen it. I've socialised with it. I've had friends that have lived it. And I've come close a couple of times to being on my uppers. And then I've worked my balls off to try and pull it round. I had to become a hairdresser, I had to learn to cut hair, I had to work hard to get my own salon. I've been success, failure, seen it all. Yeah? So I know. And I know how painful it is when somebody will not help you or be mean to you just based on the fact that you're wearing the wrong shirt, or you've got the wrong haircut, or you like a different band, or you live in a different part of town. Like, fucking hell, man. You're really going to make my life worse because of that. You are going to... And what does it do for you? It makes you feel better. Well, good you. Well done you. Number 3, look for commonalities between opposing groups. I did it automatically, didn't I? So I am genuine. your mods and rockers both ride bikes. They both have long hair, and they both have haircuts, and they both like music with guitars in it. Look for the commonalities. I'm a Birmingham fan. You're a Villa fan. We both come from Birmingham. We both enjoy the same sport. Like, we both support England. Can't we find something to agree on? Do we have to hate each other? My granddad was a Villa fan. I used to come home from the Birmingham matches, and my granddad would say, "Oh, I've been watching it on the telly today. Well done, 2-1. Have you seen the Villa score?" And we'd watch all the other scores come in, and he'd do his football pools. And together we were football fans. And that's never left me. I've got a really good friend, one of my best friends in the world, a lad called James. He's a Villa fan. We grew up together in this town, and he's a Villa fan, and I'm a Birmingham fan, but we grew up together in this town. So I'm never going to be rude or mean, or not just to him, but I've done my fair share of shit on the Villa. Shit on the Villa. Ooh, shit on the Villa tonight. Shit on the Villa. I've done my fair share of that. I've been in the group. I've grown up. I've come out of it. I love football. I love Birmingham. I'll defend my love of football and Birmingham to the end of the earth. But I will not punch someone for being a Villa fan. And if I see other Blues fans giving someone... I once saw a bunch of Blues fans. They got this guy, it was Swindon. Swindon beat us 6-4. Glenn Hoddle played. We were 4-1 up at half-time. Glenn Hoddle put himself on at half-time, player-manager. Fucking scored 4 goals and we lost 6-4. And then at the end of the game, we were walking home. They saw these Blues fans. They grabbed this guy. He was just wearing a red jumper. I was only about 10, from what I remember. And they fucked him into this... there was some road... I'm laughing, but there was some roadworks. They grabbed his jumper over his head. And they fucked him into this hole that the roadworks had made. And they were all laughing and they bullied him and they walked off. And I remember thinking, that ain't right. Like, I'm a Blues fan, but I'm not down with that. I couldn't go over and do anything. They were bigger than me. I was a younger kid. But I remember thinking, I ain't down with that. And I won't have it. I won't stand by and watch someone bully someone. And I won't stand by and watch someone be, rude or aggressive to someone because of an in-group thing. A Birmingham fan, and I will stand and defend a Villa fan in the street from violence. I won't have it. I don't want it done to me. I won't do it to other people. Fans of opposing sports teams equally love the sport. See, people of different religions regard their faith as important to them. That's a big one, isn't it? We're both people of religion. We're both people of faith. I love a God. You love a God. We both want to get there in the end. Should we have a war? What? There are basic human needs that transcend particular labels. Absolutely. Labels. See where we're coming? See where we're going? Do you see where we're going? See where we're going? Labels. So now that we know that in-group and out-group psychology, in context, creates a context where you can be very rude and very mean about someone just because they're not in your group. It makes them feel unhappy, bullied, and it makes you into a bit of a chuffer. And it exists, yeah? It exists. So going back to this. Martin makes great vids. I make dribble. I'll tell you a little funny story. I've got buttons. Actually, I can tweet that I'm streaming on YouTube. I'll tell you a little funny story. Look at my close-up. Do you like my close-up buttons? Oh, the camera's moved slightly. Idiot. You're an idiot. I'm not an idiot. You are an idiot. I'm not an idiot. You are. You're not genuine. You're not even genuine. You're on the internet talking shit. I'm not. I am genuine, mate. Tell it from the heart. Can't do it any other way. Do you think I could come on every day and talk shit all day without being genuine, do you? Otherwise, my mask could fall off. Yeah, I haven't got a mask, you're fucking ugly. You should wear a mask because you're fucking ugly. That's ad hominem, isn't it? That's ad hominem. Anyway, tell you a funny story. And I've forgotten what it is now. Oh, I forgot what my funny story was. What was I even talking about? Oh, you got... Sorry, look, I've been missing your chat because I've been ranting. Historian, sorry. I do appreciate. My husband puts up road diversions, accidents, they get called everything. They get stones thrown at them because people have to drive a different route. Fuck's sake, yeah. Like, what is wrong with people? I'm an Arsenal fan, you're used to insults. So what's going on is, you know what's going on. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry I missed your chat, but you do know what's going on. It's been on the screen, so no one else can miss it. And I forgot what I was talking about for my funny story, so I'll have to come back to that if I remember it. It was only a personal little anecdote about something that happened, so it's not really that relevant. In-groups, out-groups. We've seen why it makes people sad.
Who are you, guy? I'm Darpan. Don't know you. No. Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you, man.
So that guy's right behind him. the guy who is from a foreign country, had difficulty with his words, wanted some information off Martin, couldn't get his words out. Martin couldn't understand him, told him to fuck off, you funny foreigner, right?
Buzz on you too. So bring any mad energies in there? Just had a weird foreigner trying to stress me out and fuck off for last year.
Right, just had a weird foreigner try and stress me out. Now, I find that interesting because I felt it was racist. I felt it had racist connotations. I felt it defined this other man as a weird foreigner, put him in the out group. Therefore, Martin's in group. And bear in mind, this is a big thing for Martin, these groups, because, you know, it's paying his way. The guy he's talking to is Asian. Martin's from Wales. He might see him as an equal because he's a Welshman. Or he might see him as a foreigner because he's from an Asian country by birth or by genetic heritage. So I don't know. And I don't know what the Welshman or the Asian man, See, I'm automatically doing it. I am genuine. I've got Asian blood in me. I'm 10% Indian, North Indian, so I can't be racist. But I accidentally saw him as a Welshman, not an Asian. So it turns out I am genuine. But I'm asking these questions. Who feels what here? He's got a smile on. He's laughing. So maybe he's in the in group. Maybe he feels in the in group. Maybe you'd want to, because you wouldn't want to be in the out group when someone's calling someone a weird foreigner. What are these groups? The group is us and the foreigner. What is the foreigner? A weird foreigner? Are they foreign because they're not part of our flat earth circle? Or are they foreign because they're from a different country? Is being from a different country now a negative thing due to your in-group and out-group psychology? Who feels what in this situation? Does the man that's called a weird foreigner feel like he's being treated badly and bullied because of being a weird foreigner? Does the man that Martin said it to smile outwardly but inside think, God, I hate this racist language? People say that sort of shit to me all the time. Call me an outsider for being a different skin colour. You know, are the audience that are sitting around... Because, sorry, if I wanted to let it play, but I've paused it in my other video. He's in front of people here in this room. There's a bunch of people sitting around. If someone said that in front of me, I would feel instinctively that I'm not in the same group as Martin. He's pointed at this guy and said he's a weird foreigner. I would feel on the side of the weird foreigner, and I would feel uncomfortable that Martin is doing this in-group psychology stuff. And I'd think, I'm not with you on that, Martin. I put myself in the out group. I start to feel offended. I'm talking honestly about my feelings. I would feel unhappy and offended for the weird foreigner. I'd think to myself, what if I was having trouble with language, like Hannah did in our original comment? You know, Hannah might not be a British national because she doesn't understand how to use punctuation and grammar. So me critiquing that might make people who have problems with punctuation and grammar, or dyslexic or foreign, feel in an out group. Remember, I did it earlier. I'm putting my hands up and saying it. You know, I don't want to make people feel in an out group for those reasons. I put myself in the out group whenever it's the case. If the lines are being drawn between bullies and the bullied, I will go and stand with the bullied. I don't want to be a bully, so I have to stand with the bullied. You know what I'm saying? So in this situation, I would have been sat in the audience and I thought, oh, fucking hell, mate, weird foreign man, do you want to come and sit with me? And I'd try and be nice to him to show him that we're not all mean to you. We're not all like this. I'm not in their group and you can be in my group. And I'm trying to open my arms to people. Even worse, how and why did the weird foreigner just appear just to stress him out? And do I know you? Who'd say that to an audience member? Yeah, and I got this feeling of Martin, and this is why I thought he might have been on cocaine. It's because I got this feeling about him from this video as well, this vibe that he's like some super celebrity in this circle. He's gained some social status in this circle, and that meant he was able to shit and point down. Shit runs downhill. Who are you? Who are you? You fucking. Who are you? You fucking. You know, he's got his cob on his shoulder. He's had a chip on his shoulder, and I saw that as well in Jade. Remember Jade? Oh, chip on a shoulder, oh my van, oh I'm better than you. I'm better than you. Martin's better than these people. I'm in the other group, so I'm not better than people. I feel they're telling me they're better than me. And I don't like it, yeah? We've also got there is one aspect, okay, I want to say this. Yeah, I do want to say this. I also think that because they're the flat earth British contingent, and they're a smaller group of people who think differently to the rest of society, that they might feel attacked a lot. And that people like me, I was considering turning up, having some questions. I'd be an outsider to their group, attacking their opinions. Suddenly they're the victimised group, they're the out group from society at large. Society at large believes the earth is round, they believe that space exists or whatever. You know, I'm not arguing about those things with you in chat now, but society at large believes it. Ergo, this group is a smaller group. They're the out group all of a sudden. You can be both an in group and an out group at the same time. And what do you do as an out group? You feel vulnerable, you feel victimized, you feel bullied. So when someone asks you a question, I need some information about this flat earth, Martin might have jumped on this, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here, he might have jumped on this defensive position because it happens a lot. Oh, Martin, what about this thing about the earth, you idiot? Oh, fuck you, you fucking dodgy foreigner, who are you telling me? You know, so he might have got on a defensive foot. There might have been that, but I think it's more of a cocky arrogance that comes across from Martin here. And he's got his shirt undone down here, he's like a rock star, he's like finding status from this group, he's on the stage today. And why do I think that cocaine plays into that? Because people who use recreational drugs like cannabis are often exposed to the rest of the recreational drugs. People in lower working class environments are exposed more, surprisingly, to things like cocaine than you'd imagine. Because cocaine is not just, as I said earlier, the ambrosia of the gods. It's not just some sort of nectar that goes around the rich people anymore. You get dirty cheap powders and everyone's on it down the local estate pub. So Martin's got access to it. He knows people who are on it. He's on the other drugs. Other people are using drugs around him. It's not a huge leap to consider that if he thinks he's a bit this and a bit that, and on the day he needs a bit of swagger and he's going to be on the stage, he might have a little bump. Because I know fucking blokes down the pub who are a bit like Martin who fucking do exactly the same. So it happens. It's not a huge leap, yeah? It's not a huge leap. I'm not saying he's on cocaine, but that's where I got that feeling from. Because the arrogance that comes through. And that's something that people who are on cocaine display. So, we're now going to look at, so we've seen that, we've seen it all in action, I've explained in groups and out groups, we know why it's bad. If you want to learn further, there is a lot of learning to do. And I say, you know, this without being condescending, please do it. You know, people question the narrative, don't they? Well, why don't you question the narrative of how your brain works or how society works? Instead of just saying, I think this and I think that and fuck you. Question why you might be saying fuck you. Question who's putting you in an in-group, who's drawing you into their out-group, where are you positioned and why do you feel like that? And then you might get an idea about where your ideas come from. And then you might start to question narratives from a different perspective. Why are people making you feel like something? Remember earlier I said that being poor makes you more worried than COVID. They talked about Operation Fear, didn't they? Operation Fear, control the masses. Well, you can't do anything if you haven't got any money. If you're scrubbing for next week's money, that's all you're thinking about. So I think that Project Fear and disorganisation of the masses has also linked in with the economy and the way they're ruining your life. But, you know, people don't look at that because they're only seeing the scratch in the surface because they're not learning these deeper ideas. And I think that when you learn these deeper ideas, you can see into these politics and, you know, mechanisms a bit deeper. So please, you know, don't just take it from me. Go out and have a look at some of these thousands of studies and maybe even learn a bit of psychology. You know, I'm not saying you don't know it. I'm being rude there and condescending, but, you know, just an idea. When a Fed publicly called you evil, or your husband saw what happened to you, you collapsed on the floor in shock that a stranger and his mates would sadly do that. Sadly true. I thought you were also... Hang on. I'm not being rude here, historian, but I thought you did... I thought you agreed with the flat Earth. Was that right? I don't have to, you know, you don't have to answer personal questions on my behalf on account on the internet. You don't have to say it if you don't want. I just thought over the years you'd mentioned, or the years, it seems like years now, but I thought that you were on that. So I know Squirrel Sniper is on that, or from that world. I'll be surprised if people within that world are attacking you. You know, that's infighting within the in-group, isn't it? And you have that. We'll go on to the racist bit in just a second, but I'll just finish this point. That you have that. You have people who want to be the biggest one in the group, who want to be the leader of the group. And how do you do that? You ostracize someone else from the group. You're threatened by someone. We said it here. Threatened causes this thing to happen. When people feel threatened, the group identification becomes more intense. It might be, and it happened to me in the ASMR world, so I can speak from experience. This girl said to me, I should have saved the... She was called Amanda Whisper Sparkles. And I can tell you why she said it, look. I'll show you. Amanda Whisper Spark... I mean, she probably took the channel down now. Sparkles. Does it even still exist? Oh, it does, look. Manda. She's changed it to. Manda. Oh, she's still doing ASMR. But look, 69 views... 200 views, 100 views. It's not really taken off for her, has it? Even though it really did take off. What's going on with Amanda? Who are all these people? Who are these? Oh, she's having a go at Chantal. Look, what is Chantal raging about now? Amber Lynn Reid's new wifey has arrived. She's having a go at this woman on the internet for views. She's having a go at a woman on the internet for views. Nice one, bitterness. So Amanda Whisper Sparkles is a failed YouTuber who's got a chip on her shoulder about other YouTubers. She's got a chip on her shoulder about her weight, look, weigh-in day. And because she's got a chip on her shoulder about her own weight, she's having a go at this other woman. Chantal talking a load of crap as usual. You see what I'm saying? You can see where this person's coming from, can't you? Now, I've explained all this in-group psychology. Can you imagine what her reaction to me was? Because what happened was Amanda Whisper Sparkles had been doing ASMR. It's a bit sad in a way, isn't it? The way I'm describing this. You know, I perceive the sadness. She'd been doing all this ASMR for a couple of years before me. And she'd got a couple of views. You know, it looks like more views on these, 10,000 views, because back then you got more views, and also they've been out for 7 years, so these videos have got a few more views. But she did doing all right. Not great, but doing all right, yeah? Not great, but doing all right. I come around, I turn up, new on the scene, and bearing in mind, I'm talking about the nascent stages. Oh, there's my channel there. Here's one of my videos. So, oh, not this. This is a video we'll play after the ads, an advert. But I turn up on the ASMR scene and I start doing my work, my ASMR, and it's a bit different to other people. I'm not the oldest serving member of the group, the ASMR community we call it. Remember this whole YouTube thing, communities, groups. And remember what groups do. They cause in-group and out-group fighting. What do the government want for you to do? Be divided and not together so they can fight them. Divided and in fear, arguing and shouting at each other and tearing each other down. Right, I turn up to the ASMR world. This is just an example of one of my videos. And I do my videos a bit differently.
This card seems to earn its place through hard work rather than talent, but is regularly selected for the...
So I've got good sound quality, I've got good visual quality, I've got a bit of something about me, different sort of videos to other people. And I get these comments about how good or how people like my videos. I'm not saying I'm the best, definitely not. But, you know, I got these comments, this is what happened. And what happened was Amanda Whisper Sparkles, like a lot of people in the ASMR world, sort by oldest, a lot of people in the ASMR world were like really nice to me. My first big video was Ska, wasn't it? That was my first ever video, 53,000 views I got on that so far. So I've done better than Amanda Whisper Sparkles. I'm new, I'm a man, she doesn't like that, and I'm doing better than her. Like, not my work is better than her, although personally I felt my production values were better, my sound quality was better, but, you know, I'm allowed to say that, but my success was greater. That video it's nearly up to 500,000 views there, that one. Like, some of these are not, they're not that interesting. That's 140,000 views. 8 years ago, same sort of time frame as Amanda. 8 years ago we're talking about, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 1,000 views. 2,000 views. So she's angry at me now, and she showed it, right? She actually sent me a private message, and it said something along the line, I can't tell you exact, I've got to paraphrase, probably still got it on Facebook somewhere. She said that I'm part of this ASMR community and you're new here, so let me tell you how things work. And I sent her one back saying, like, I don't need you to tell me how things work, thanks. I don't give a shit about being in the ASMR community. I don't care. Leave me alone. And she sent me another one back saying, right, you don't belong here. You're not part of our community. Why don't you fuck off and stop it. Leave us alone. We don't need you around here. Like, she was mean to me. And what she did was, because I knew what she was doing, she did this in-group, out-group thing. And I think it's because she felt threatened. Because she's trying hard to make a success on YouTube, and she's failing. Like, actually failing. Like, it wasn't working. So now actually she's changed from that. She's gone onto this weight channel, weigh-in day, weigh-in details, weight channel. Look, she's abandoned it. And then she started having a go at other people. You're fat and horrible and I hate you. But obviously you've got a problem with yourself, haven't you, Amanda? Because you're interested in your own weight and worried about your own weight. So the things you're throwing and accusations at this woman are things that you yourself have a chip on your own shoulder about. You see how I'm explaining it? In groups and out groups. That was my little personal story of how somebody bullied me. But thankfully, this woman, this person, wasn't able to hurt me in the same way as Hannah Hazard here, Hannah Hazard. The same way Hannah Hazard can't hurt me, because it's the same thing. Look, she's not really successful on YouTube. She's got some sort of chip on her shoulder. She's having a go at me, but I don't feel like threatened or you know, in fact, I feel like sad. So I want to hold out my hand and say, can we help you, Hannah? And whilst I'm being a bit mean to you on this video, and you're going to fucking hate this, if you did read into it, you might change your opinions. You might have a look and think, oh, maybe I'm being a bit rude. You know, it might help you in your future. There's that. There's that. So let's get on to the actual legality now. Is calling someone a foreigner racist? Now we've looked at the context. Okay? Now we've looked at the context. We're going to watch it one more time and see if in context, like context, remember I said, is this racist?
Who are you, guy?
I'm Darpan.
Do I know you?
No.
No.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you, my friend. Wicked buzz on you too. So bring any mad energies in there? Just had a weird foreigner trying to stress me up and fuck off last year.
What? Is that racist in context? Remember what we said what context was? It's the setting for an event, statement or idea, and terms at which it can be fully understood. So what's he saying about this man? You know, it's derogatory, isn't it? It's negative. He's not saying this man's a foreigner, but like as a definition, purely arbitrary. But he's defining him as an outgroup. He's not one of us. He's this weird foreigner. It's a negative. It's like poking at him, isn't it? Hello, Snips. You're a global denier, not a flat earther per se. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. You know, you see here, like, again, genuineness. You know that I've never been rude to you, have I, about your opinions on the earth? I've never been rude to you, have I? I've never said anything mean. I've never tried to make you feel like an outsider. In fact, I've tried to make you feel as welcome as possible, I hope. Even though we don't share that opinion on the earth. But here, what Martin's done is he said, this man is a dirty foreigner. He's like a, not dirty. See, I'm using those words, dirty, because I remember them from when I was a kid. I had someone call me, I won't go into it too deeply because it is a very hurtful personal story, but I had someone that was a bit bigger and stronger than me say some really hurtful things to me about me. And like, my dad was born in India, I'll just quickly show you this. I'm going to say this before we get into the racist bit, but I think it's important, Charles Thought Jessup. Like my ancestors, Colonel Charles Thorpe Jessup was in the Assam Valley Light Horse. He went out to India and owned a tea plantation. Now he might have been a big chuffer, might have been a bad chuffer being mean to those Indians because he came from Britain and he went out there with the British Army. Do you know what I mean? Like dominating the country. And there's this plaque here in this church in memory of Lieutenant Colonel and Margaret Creswell Jessup. Like, you know, we can trace this history of my family. So they went out to India as the ruling British, and they is that him playing cricket? That's GL Jessup. So I've got these ancestors, and they're British, and they went out to India, some of them, and they dominated the country. And it turned out, no, they weren't totally bad chuffers. We don't know anything. We can't tell you anything. You know, I don't know how they behaved when they're out there, if they were racist or not. But Colonel Charles Thorpe Jessup married an Indian woman, or had children with an Indian woman, and then he had to come back to England, and he had to leave the kids in India because, you know, racism. So I think he was okay with like having children with an Indian woman. So maybe he wasn't such a racist. I don't know. Maybe he was raping her and she was just squeezing out these babies and she was a slave. I don't know, right? But that line, that family line, they grew up in India, joined the Indian British Army. I think it was the Indian Army or the British, whatever. And they, you know, were Anglo-Indian, half English, half Indian. And then one of them married a woman from, I think, Holland or whatever. You know, got this mixed blood. Eventually, they moved back to England. They're British people with British blood in them. And it's a little bit of Indian. I'm 10% Indian. We did the DNA test. So my dad was moved as a baby from Delhi to England. His dad moved from India to England and considered himself a British person of the British ruling class, and so would be welcomed with open arms back in Britain, and was surprised when people called him a Paki. Yeah, didn't like that. My dad has always taught me and grown up and said, look, you're British. Like, he didn't want me to feel like I was going to be racially abused. He didn't want me to suffer the same racial abuse as he suffered when he was growing up. Sometimes. He doesn't suffer it all the time. He doesn't always, he does look a bit, you know, a bit exotic, but he doesn't, because of this half-caste nature, because of this, you know, mix of blood, you know, he was able to be a football fan, a white British man, a roofer, and also sometimes encounter racism, I'm sure. He's never told me any particular stories about it, but I've got one of my own, where this guy was calling me a dirty Paki, just like your dad, and saying these really horrible things to me, you know, really horrible things. And I remember being young enough to not even understand what it meant. to think, why are you saying this stuff? Like, I don't get it. But when I grew up and I understood, because at the time I just felt hurt and bullied. But as I grew up and I realised that the hurt was intended in a much more deep and horrible way. And bear in mind, I'm born in England and I consider myself British, the end. I couldn't understand why someone would be racist to me, someone else from my equal culture. Like, making me a bit sad actually, but that happened to me once, so it's happened. I know it. Like, I've suffered racism, and it's bizarre because I don't even, I know that on the internet I go on about being a global citizen, a person in the world with a little bit of mixed blood in me. Therefore, I'm not racist. I can say what I like. I can enjoy culture. I'm joking a little bit. Oh, I've got a black friend, so I can't be racist. I'm joking a bit, but also I take that as a real part of I'm British, which means I'm global, which means Canadian, which means Ugandan. I think is Uganda in the Commonwealth. Quickly just find this out. Uganda, I don't think it is it? Uganda, Commonwealth. Oh no, it is. It is in the Commonwealth, or it was in the Commonwealth. Okay, so anything that's got Britain involved, Commonwealth, yeah. Oh, it's an independent sovereign state of 1962, but I will still consider it. History of Britain once in the Commonwealth. I welcome you into my family. Our family, I'll welcome you into the fold. We're together in this. We're in the Commonwealth. Oh, they went to the Commonwealth Games, so that's where I've got it from. Yeah, definitely a Commonwealth country then, as far as I'm concerned. Equal with me, equal British Commonwealth citizen. You can be black, I can be white. Doesn't make a shit of difference. We're equals, we're British. That's the way I see that. But not everyone does. Some people think you have to be white and English and everyone else can fuck off. Okay? Right, you fucking mental, but yeah, that's what you think. So, again, context here, yeah? You're American with a little bit of everyone in your heritage. Yeah, Americans killed everyone indiscriminately. So here, in context, we have to accept, don't we, that this is a racist slur that's being used. We're defining the person as a foreigner, as a weird foreigner. So weird is negative. Weird can be positive. Freaky geeky is now, been, how certain words used to be negative and we take them on and we revel in them. I used to be called a geek as a bullying term, but now I'm a proud geek. Yeah, so whatever, but two famous sons. Let's crack on with what Martin said. In context.
I don't know you. I'm wicked. Who are you, guy?
I'm Darpan.
I don't know you.
No. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you, my friend. Wicked buzz on you too. So, bringing any mad energies in there? Just had a weird foreigner trying to stress me up and fuck off, well, that's it.
He spits the word foreigner. In context, I am going to stand by my guns here and say that in context, it's used as a pejorative here. Sorry, Hannah. I remember Hannah's watching, so we have to explain things for Hannah. Pejorative. Can't spell properly, can I? I'm not very good at spelling sometimes, just like Hannah. Pejorative, expressing contempt or disapproval. A word expressing contempt or disapproval. Now, if you're going to be disparaging or derogatory or depreciatory or defamatory about someone based on their race, based on their outsider status as a foreigner, I would contest that that's racism. Let's just find out what racism is for Hannah. I'm being deliberately mean to Hannah. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, particularly one that's marginalised. A belief that races present different characteristics, abilities, or qualities so as to distinguish themselves as inferior. Weird foreigner. Do you think weird foreigner is racist in this context? If I said, in India, I am considered a foreigner, that's not racist. If I said, you're a dirty, stinky foreigner, that is racist. You understand now? Okay? You understand? I'm telling it you now. You don't have to argue with me, Hannah. Right? You don't have to argue with me anymore, Hannah. Or esoteric gardening. Since when is calling someone a foreigner racist? You don't have to argue with me now. And the 21 people who click like, because you're slightly right-wing, slightly agree, whatever, a bit confused, didn't do enough learning in school, whatever it was. Turns out, yes, it is racist, yes. I'm saying it, and I'm going to back it up in a second with legal stuff, but if you are using it in this context, because context is everything, in this context, this example, yes, it's racist. Yes. Right, moving on to the law now. Your 69% of you is Scots or Scandi, 11% is English, and you were born in Singapore. speaking received pronunciation, you're a foreigner in your own country. Yeah, do you know what? That's a really good point. If you, with this in-group stuff, the stupid thing about it, remember what I said about that ASMR person saying I don't belong in the ASMR community? She's not the arbiter, the ruler of it. I'm in it if I want to be in it, if I make an ASMR video. The end. But I'm also not in it because I'm not consistently doing the same as them and I don't agree with their thing. The funny thing about these things, like we're all global citizens, aren't we? So the minute you start drawing these arbitrary lines, you can quickly draw a slightly different line and put yourself outside the group. I'm a pedestrian today because I'm walking across this crossing. Fuck you, your car. I'm in the car today, so fuck you, you pedestrian. Right? We're all floating voters in a way, aren't we? We're all part of all these groups. We're humans. And if you want to draw an arbitrary line, you can put yourself in the group and then someone else can draw a different line and put you out the group. And you have to argue about whether you are in or not in the group. Who's the big chuffer in the group who decides who's in the group? And sometimes you get a couple of big chuffers in the group and they get together as a gang and they say, no, you can't be in our gang, fuck you. And then you're in the out group and you're being bullied. So yeah, it's funny, isn't it, that Uncontrolled Historian perceives this, that they can be in any group they want, or they can be ostracized from any group that the others want. So the group thing is useless to us. So here we go, racism now, big racism. Going to actually nail this. Going to actually nail Hannah now. Sorry, Hannah. I mean, I'm being personal, ad hominem a little bit on you. You've come on my channel to give me shit, Hannah, and I've had enough of it. I don't stand for it, Hannah. And your channel is fucking awful. So people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. If you want, Hannah, I'll do another episode on how to teach you how to stream, because I can help you. I'm being really mean now. I'm deliberately, you see, I'm doing it now. I told you I'd do it, being condescending and a dick. Sorry, Hannah. Sorry. Right. Is calling someone a foreigner racist? Hi, I'm wondering if calling someone a foreigner is a racist word. This is justanswer.uk law, so I can't talk for international law, because international law varies, they're different groups. But I can certainly talk about the UK law and where I stand and why I feel like, you know, in my context from the UK, with the world around me as I understand it, why I instinctively jumped to say this is foreign. Sorry, I instinctively jumped to say Martin is being racist. That was my instinct, and I can show you why now. You know, I can make it really clear.
So, bringing mad energies in there? Just had a weird foreigner trying to stress me up and fuck off, and that's it.
I can tell you why, legally here. The question comes, and this is just answer law, so it's a solicitor answering someone's question. So I'll go through the whole thing. Where is this? It matters because laws vary by location. So now the solicitor is completely acknowledging that our ideas about groups are irrelevant to the law. There's different things in life, aren't there? You know, there's what you think is right, there's what I think is right, and then there's what's actually right by the law. And the law, you know, the letter of the law might not be the same as your deep inner feelings or what your God says or my instinct or whatever. So thankfully we have the law to make legal arbitrations between people who are arguing about subjects, and you're going to go away and still, you know, some people get prosecuted for racism, like, you know, Tommy Robinson might still thinking and state that he's not, and he's this and he's that, but the rest of the world sees it and has labelled it and has said it is. So we've got the law so that we can have these legal definitions. It's not the same as your personal feelings and stuff, and I'm not saying that it overrides it. You know, they put Nelson Mandela in prison, didn't they, during apartheid? The law was not on his side, was it? But eventually it turned out the law was wrong and he got released. So, you know, they can change the laws, but in the way we work today in the UK, this is a good second opinion. We've looked at the philosophical, the psychological, the sociological aspects of whether calling someone a foreigner is a racist. We've discussed that it's all surrounded with context, and that without context there is nothing. So to take it out of context in these comments and say, since when is calling someone a foreigner racist, is useless to us, doesn't mean anything. You need the context to be able to determine the specifics of the thing you're talking about. So we've discussed all that. Now I'm going to show you why, to the letter of the law, arguments about personal opinions aside, that's what the law is good for. Respect it, don't respect it, don't care. You know, you still go to prison whether you respect the law or not. I don't believe in the law of the land. I believe in common law, and the Queen can't, and you're fucking arrested and you're put in prison, so fuck off. You can think it in prison if you want. According to the law, right? According to the law. Just wondered if calling someone a foreigner is racist. Is a racist remark. This was in Exeter, Devon. What steps has the foreigner taken so far? See, the solicitor online has called them a foreigner. So it obviously is not a problem, is it, calling someone a foreigner? I don't think it's a problem to say, you are foreign to me. I am foreign in this land. I don't think it's a problem to use the word in that context. The solicitor here has used it online as part of the question about the question. So it clearly is not problematic to call someone a foreigner in certain contexts. Customer, they've reported me to the manager and I've been suspended while an investigation is undertaken. So, I'll tell you what, they take it pretty seriously, don't they? I don't know where you work. I don't know what the manager's, situation is. But I do know that if you're reported for calling someone a foreigner in a racist context, they will take it seriously and investigate to see whether it is in fact racism or an innocent use of the word. It needs determining, it needs defining. They're asking the question because they don't know if they've been racist or not. Reporting to the manager results in an investigation. So I'm sorry, Hannah, and I'm sorry, Esoteric Gardener and whoever, but it turns out that I'm not on my own here. If you were in a place of work and you said these things like Martin did, you would be under investigation. And the reason I'm saying in a place of work in general is because in general they all adhere to the same equality guidelines in places of work. They can all be taken to the same industrial tribunals. It's the same law governing them all. So if one workplace will take you under investigation for that, I'm assuming most would if you're reported, because it's the same law that they have to investigate, and they have to show that a company has to show that they're applying these fair policies to everyone. So they have to do this investigation, don't they? They certainly would want to, wouldn't they? Anything else you want the lawyer to know before I connect you? No. So unfortunately, we're not really given a context, are we? They've asked, where is this? But it's not big. We're outside of context. We don't know exactly how it was used. Don't know exactly, but we're going to go ahead and look at this. Expert virtual mod. Hello, I've been working hard to find a professional to assess you with your opinion. I wonder if you'll continue to wait. Okay, that was just the mod. Expert. So we've got the expert now, John. I'm just going to click this to find out what John is, who John is. And, I'm asking for John's opinion here. John, according to this website, justanswer.co law, okay, according to this website, is a verified expert in law, property law, traffic law, family law, immigration law. John is, I'm just going to say it straight because I'm not afraid, a black person. So, he's biased. We're all humans, remember? So, he's a lawyer and he's an expert since 2019 on this website. 2,300 satisfied customers, lots of satisfied answers with this. No negatives here, recent feedback. So it seems good, seems all above board. That's what they're trying to do here, is they're trying to show that John is verifiable, that it's not just some bullshit someone said. Okay, I'm going to agree with that. It might be wrong. I might be wrong here. Maybe I should do more verification of John. Maybe I should see his bar certificate or whatever it is. Maybe I need to know more. But let's just assume that he does know what he's talking about on this website about the law for people to answer questions about the law where he's a verified expert. Let's assume that that's all above board, yeah? Hello, I'm a solicitor and I'm happy to help with your question today. There may be delays in responding as I'm away helping other customers. Please bear with me. Right, finally we get a response. Finally we get our answer. The word is not racist in its own right. No, I don't need that pop-up, thank you. The word is not racist in its own right. As I've said, no word is. And I'm not going to say the N-word now, because I think the N-word is kind of racist in its own right, but you would also argue that a rapper might say the N-word in a non-racist context. Context, isn't it? It's context. Even the N-word feels like it requires some context sometimes. Because I could be explaining to you what the N-word is and why it's racist and not be racist when I say it. I don't want to say it on YouTube, obviously. But I could, even the N-word needs some context. It does not have... Okay, so the word is not racist, foreigner. It does not have any negative connotations. Foreigner does not have negative connotations. Okay, what did Martin say?
No, lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you, mate.
a weird foreigner trying to stress me out who can fuck off with that shit. So Martin's applying some other negative connotations around it. He's giving us context. Remember that. It's not fair to judge him just on the one word, is it, Hannah? Is it? It does not have any negative connotations. But, there's a but. There's a but. But it has been used in a context where it's intended... Sorry, but if it has been used in a context... So here we go. This is the big one that we're going to get to now. This is the big payoff in today's expert analysis. Not me. Their expert analysis. The word is not racist, but if it has been used in a context where it's intended to demean, threaten, be abusive or insulting, then yes, it can be quite offensive and potentially, not definitely, because we need context, and it could be argued in front of a judge and the judge might have to decide, but the legal expert is saying yes, it can be quite offensive and potentially a racially aggravated offence. Now, not what I was saying. Remember, I was saying, is Martin saying something racist? Is he saying something racist? The dark side of Martin Liedtke on this video that I produced. Is he saying something racist? Here they're saying, forget whether he's saying something racist. It's an offence under section 311A of Crime and Disorder Act. It's a crime. It's a criminal offence. To be publicly racially aggravating. It's a criminal offence. Does this answer your question? It answers mine. And fucking answers mine. It makes me feel validated again. Sorry, Hannah. Sorry, Hannah, I'm being a bit pedantic and I'm being a bit condescending. But people are leaving these comments on this video. Not just one. Esoteric Gardening is another one. There's a few of them. So, it turns out they're wrong. And what they're doing on here is standing up for racism. They're standing up for bullying. Hannah is standing up for being a racist bully and for breaking the law in a criminal, racist way. That's what she's standing up for. I'm the other side of the coin here. I'm the other argument. I'm saying let's not do this. Hannah's saying let's do this. It's good to do this. You're wrong to say he's racist. You should be able to call people foreigners if you want and be racially aggravated offending under section 311. You should be able to do that. That's Hannah's perspective. It takes one to know one, Hannah. Whatever that means. But there you go. So Hannah's saying that. But be fair, let's be fair. It has to be used in a context where it's intended to demean, threaten or be abusive or insulting. They're the qualifiers that make it a crime. Just going out and standing in the street and shouting foreigners is not a crime. Okay, it's not a crime. But intending to demean the foreigners, saying that foreigners are in some way an out group, that you're dirty or disgusting or bad or weird, intending to demean. Let's get these definitions right for Hannah. Let's get the definitions right for Hannah, because demean, cause a loss in the dignity and respect for someone. Do some, so to lose respect for someone, to cause a loss of respect. Let's just take Martin's words and see how they feel in terms of respect. I'm going to take it back to where he's actually talking to the man. I'm making a notepad, ignoring you. Sorry, I missed the bit where he's talking to the man. I want to get that bit in because I do think it's important, because it shows where Martin's coming from. It shows Martin's attitude. Do you remember at the very start, we had Uncontrolled Historian here saying to me that... have I got two chats on the screen? Oh, one's from my old video. Uncontrolled Historian was saying to me that Martin was being... well, I don't want to paraphrase you, Historian. I don't want to, put words in your mouth, but you were saying that you felt he was being cocky or arrogant, weren't you? And I was agreeing with you at the start of the episode.
Mate, it's only 20 quid, mate. Even if we didn't do anything, you should be grateful. It's just that a lot of people get together as a family.
He is licking his lips there, isn't he? Look. Do that.
So have a good time, do mate.
He'll be very confrontational as well, isn't he?
But I wanted to ask a lot of questions how I'm here.
Like what? What information do you want?
But now I know I asked those people there.
Go in and have a good time, mate. Stop stressing yourself.
So Martin's obviously agitated. This is last year. So we've got that, we've seen the conversation between the two. Go in and have a good time, mate. I do talk a lot, don't I? That's what I'm supposed to do. This is my channel. Fuckers. They accuse me of talking a lot in the negativity in the comments as well. Talking a lot. What do you think I should do? Sit here and be quiet? Hide my light under a bushel? Or body you? How about I body you? How about I just body you, Hannah? Bodied. And if Hannah, you know, if you want to come and be on this show and talk to me, absolutely fine with that. Hannah, do you know what? We might see eye to eye. Hannah, do you want to come around my house and I'll cook you dinner and you might be able, you know, work your way into my bedroom and become my girlfriend. You never know. You never know. I'm not being completely, you know, closed-minded, but bodying you today, Hannah. We've got a lot to get on, so let's crack on.
Hey, my brother.
Oh, good. How are you?
Yeah, man, wicked.
Excellent.
Who are you, guy?
I'm Darpan.
Don't know you.
No.
No.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you, my brother.
Wicked.
Wicked buzz on you, too. So, bring any mad energies in there? Just had a weird foreigner trying to stress me up and fuck off for that shit.
Weird foreigner trying to stress me out for that shit. Is it demeaning? Is it demeaning? Does it cause a loss in the... It says severe, but does it cause a loss in the dignity and respect for someone? Is Martin being disrespectful? Yes. Is he saying weird and foreigner as like a disrespectful negative? Yes. Yes. Cannot be questioned. Is it threatening? No, not really. No. Is it abusive or insulting? Hard to say, isn't it? Weird foreigner. Is that weird? Is weird abuse? I'm just going to ask the internet. Is calling someone weird abusive? Verbal abuse. Calling someone else names that are negative, demeaning or belittling, such as stupid, idiot, worthless, dumb. I've been abusive to Hannah today. Hannah and I apologise. Hannah and I apologise because it just, you know, that says it there and it made me realise it. I did say I would be condescending. I did say I would be a little bit rude. You have come onto my channel to be rude to me. Like ad hominem attack, I proved it earlier. You're being abusive to me, so I've reflected it back to you. I apologise. You know, I do. I mean, it's genuine here. I'm not trying to be facetious or ridiculous. I hope people can. Like, she can't see when I'm being genuine, so it's hard to know on the internet. But you know, fingers crossed. Scouts honour. Do my duty to God and to the Queen, to the King these days. I'm being genuine. I'm sorry if I'm being abusive. I don't want to be abusive on the internet. It's a human reaction to someone being abusive to me. So we're saying abusive or insulting. So now we've decided, is the context intended to demean, threaten, be abusive or insulting? Demean, yes. Threaten, maybe not. Abusive, yes. Insulting, yes. 4 out of 3 ain't bad. It can be quite offensive and potentially a racially aggravated offence. Under Section 311 of the Crime Disorder Act. Let's have a look at Section 311 of the Crime Disorder Act. This is just the legals. So some people are going to say, oh, that's just the legal. I don't follow the law, so I'm not going to accept that it's offensive. Therefore, he's not being racist. You know, therefore he's not. Some people might say that. Mightn't they? I can't argue with your opinions and your subjective opinions, but we can use the law. That's why we have it, so that people's subjective opinions can go by the wayside in matters of law and fact. So we're looking at 3111A. 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 So a person is guilty of an offence if he or she convicts an offence under Section 4 of the Public Order, fear of provocation or violence. And I guess we'd need to look at the Public Order Act there in order to find that out. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so it gets confusing, doesn't it? So let's have a look at the Public Order, copy, paste for that. Public Order. You're free to make up your own mind as well, I think, is important. You're free to make up your own mind. Violent disorder, affray, fear of provocation and violence. A person is guilty of an offence if he or she or they use toward another person threatening, abusive or insulting words or behaviour, or distributes or displays to another person any writing, sign or other visible representation which is threatening, abusive or insulting. Well, that's weird, isn't it? Because like most YouTube comments, with intent to cause that person to believe that immediate unlawful violence will be used against him or another by any person. So we don't think that. I don't think they broke the law in that front. Martin didn't make this person feel threatened of violence, or that they would be, or to provoke the immediate use of unlawful violence by that person or by another, or whereby the person is likely to believe that such violence is to be used, or it's likely that such violence will be provoked. An offence under this section may be committed in a public or private space, except that no offence is committed where the words or behaviour are used, the writing or sign or other visible representation is disrupted or displayed by a person inside a dwelling and the other person... What? By a person inside of I think if you're in your own house, you're allowed to be racist. Is that saying? Okay. Intentional harm and harassment defence. Uses threatening, abusive words, causing another person harassment, alarm or distress. Now that's more subjective. Again, it's got to be public. It can't be in a private place because you're allowed to just, do what you want in your home or something. I don't know. Or if the conduct was reasonable. So this might be coming close to this. Harassment, alarm or distress in a public place. Calling someone a weird foreigner. And actually, in fairness to this situation, Martin didn't say it to the man's face. He said it to other people in the group. So it might have made the man feel worried for his position in the room, in the group, if someone is drawing up hatred against them in the group. You know that thing in the schoolyard where, oh, quick, come over here. So-and-so said this to Sandra. Oh, quick, someone said this to Sandra. Everyone come and defend Sandra. Drumming up support for the group fight. It's a bit of a grey area. I don't think that Martin, if I'm honest, I don't think that Martin is on the wrong side of the Crime and Disorder Act. I don't think that he is causing that level of threat in his use of language here. So I'm going to veer on the side of you take him to court and you lose the case. But at the same time, a lawyer would take your case because it could be argued. That's the law. That's what happens, isn't it? That's what happens. But what we've determined is that the word is not racist in its own right, but that using it in a negative context is offensive, and potentially a racially aggravated offence. Now, racism is racism an offence? Racism and offence law UK. It's not. You can be racist. There are hate crimes. But being racist in your own home, having racist views, is not something that you can be arrested for. It's the way you articulate those views and where you articulate them. If you commit a crime that's racially aggravated, then it becomes what's the opposite of mitigation? I don't know. It becomes an aggravating factor. So in itself, it's probably not an offence just to be a racist, to have those views. So, we're in these grey areas of law now, aren't we? It depends how racist you are and how it made the other people feel. But what we can categorically state for sure is that, yes, it's offensive. So maybe me saying Martin's a racist is a bit strong. I'll be open to the idea that I've been a bit far on the spectrum. I said calling someone a weird foreigner is racist. I think I'll stick by that. I might not be able to say Martin the man is definitely racist because he said this one racist thing. But I think I could definitely say that if it's offensive to someone based on their race, then it comes under the general term of racism. And so now we're moving away from the law again and back into this subjective area of language. But, racism, prejudice, discrimination or antagonism against a person on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group. Being a foreigner, being a weird foreigner. You could be saying, look, I'm happy with foreigners, I like foreigners, but this one particular one is weird. Or you could be saying weird foreigners. It's hard to know. But in this context, the thing that Martin wanted to pick out about this man, in order to denigrate him, in order to say mean things about him, that, weird, yeah, with the face on, weird foreigner. The thing that he picked on wasn't his blue shirt, or his bald head, or his satchel, or whatever. The thing he picked on was his race.
No. Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you, my man. Wicked buzz on you too. So, bring any mad energies in there? Just had a weird foreigner trying to stress me up and fuck off last year.
What? The thing he talked about was his race. So I'm going to contest that it's racism. That's what I did originally. I'm starting to feel that I've been a bit heavy on Martin. You know, I think now that we've talked about this whole thing, it might be more in-group, out-group psychology than racism. It might be more about being part of this Feb group and feeling threatened by outsiders, asking questions, attacking them. Are you just here to ruin my conference? It might be that. It might be a motivation out of that rather than that group psychology, rather than the group psychology of race. It might be that. But Martin chose the words based on race. So I'm going to say I stand by my original opinion, it's racism. I will concede that it's not a racist offence and probably should be maybe brought back for me to say discrimination rather than racism, or maybe I should tone it down a little bit and say Martin's not racist, but he is exhibiting racist opinions in his in-group psychology, out-group psychology, finger-pointing. You know, maybe I should pull it back a little bit. The cat ran over the laptop and a strange word was deleted by YouTube. YouTube don't even like cat comments. They like cat videos. Not anymore. They like hatred and shouting these days, but they used to like cat videos. But yeah, so I think we've come to a conclusion now, haven't we? Which is that yes, what he did was definitely racist, and that in context, it can even go so far if that man had felt abused or insulted or even threatened by the rest of the group. If someone had, you know, gone on and done something else, I don't know what else was said or done, but you know, if someone had gone on and done something else a little bit more than what Martin did, suddenly you're into a proper offence, a criminal act. So it's a very close grey area, but I'm going to say not criminally offensively racist, but to me socially offensive prejudice with racist connotations based in race. That's what I'm going to stick by. Hannah, Martin makes great videos. What the hell is all this dribble? You mean drivel? You don't even, capital Y please, don't apostrophe, don't even make sense and can't string apostrophe. It's a proper sentence together, full stop. Capital letter, anyone that makes 3-hour videos hating on others needs to take a good look at themselves, full stop. Capital letter, not cool, comma, you're not genuine and it shows, full stop. Okay. I've replied, and my replies are not on there again for some reason. Hang on. Just reload it. I've replied, thanks for your lovely sentiment. You see me as disingenuous and Martin not. Got it. So I think I'm on the right side of that. That's how it comes across. Yeah, I won't, you know that this needs to be punctuated properly. I mean, calling someone racist for using the word foreigner is one example, and looking for signs he's on sniff, I mean, takes one to know one, right? It's one example. Example of what? Being disingenuous? That's the only thing. See, now we're getting confused with what she's saying. That's one example. Of what? Being disingenuous? I'm actually genuine in what I'm saying. I actually think that. So I've replied, are you saying I use cocaine because she said it takes one to know one? Because maybe she's saying that I'm racist, it takes one to know one. I don't really understand that, because remember, whatever she's accusing me of, she's now saying that she is that with that phrase. So it's a fucking stupid thing to say. I've replied, are you saying I use cocaine? I wasn't calling someone foreign is racist. I wasn't saying calling someone foreign is racist. I was implying the context in which he used it, referring to the man as a foreigner distinctly by defining him by not being British, therefore an outsider, was akin to in-group psychology and is therefore a pejorative and a slur. I'll probably come on stream later if you want to discuss this further. Oh, look, I'll is not a capital letter. I'm failing myself. Edit. I don't like that. I'm failing myself there. I've got loads of red things. Hang on. I did this on my phone earlier. I'll, not big, being, not typing properly. Foreigner, spelled wrong. See how easy it is to correct these things, though, if you've got a computer. So, in-group is a real word. Thank you. TT is to discuss. God, I'm all over the place. Pejorative. There you go. Save. So that's correct now, my punctuation and grammar. I hope you do the same, Hannah. If she wanted to come on here, she could discuss it. She's not here. I'm discussing it with her not being here, but I think I'm on the right side of my comments. I agree with what I've written there. I've made a whole video now to explain it. I've given you the psychology today, Dr. Susan Krauss, the backstory on where this comes from, where my ideas are formed. Through in-group and out-group psychology, we can understand our humanity more. We need to learn to recognise the arbitrary nature of many distinctions, so we don't fall into this trap, so we don't accidentally do what Martin did and bully someone based on their race. You know, make some. It doesn't matter about race either. It could also be about, you know, hairstyle or anything, or being a punk, or not being a gamer, and I'm a gamer, or, you know, you don't belong in our group. Remember that. You should be welcoming to people. Uncontrolled Historian can attest that even though they have different opinions to me on some quite deep and like big things on the internet, I have never made them feel like an outsider who doesn't belong here. If anything, I've welcomed people with open arms. So recognise the arbitrary nature of the distinctions. Recognise it's arbitrary. It's just a silly line drawn. Me and Uncontrolled Historian have got a lot more in common than we have got in conflict. Me and Hannah have got a lot more in common than we have in conflict. Hannah would do well to, like, love me. Hannah would do well to love me. Show me some love. I could improve her content. I could help her to improve her YouTube channel. She might even start getting some views. It might take off for her. You know, we have a similar love. I've played Stardew Valley. I like that game. I'll tell you what I'm going to do for Hannah. I'm going to get this game that she played, Medieval Dynasty, and I'm going to fucking rinse it on stream and get loads of views, and it's going to make her really cross. Like, we could do it together. We could play together as co-op. We could cooperatively work on something together, Hannah. You know, I could help you. But instead, you've come to me and said, fuck you, you fucking cunt. I hate you, you fucking dickhead. That's what your first port of call with me is.
Pull me clothes off in pub.
I mean, you didn't say that, but you said that I talk dribble. I don't make sense. I can't string a sentence together. I'm not genuine. You know, they're rude things to say to me, Hannah. So we've got off on the wrong foot there. Because what I've said here has offended you, and you've come to be mean to me, Hannah. But it's a mistake, Hannah, because I'm a loving person who can share that love with you. And, like, between us, we could actually get somewhere really good. And I'll tell you what, Hannah, I've been really mean to you today. I apologise. Do you remember I said it earlier? I apologise. Please try not to be cross. You're going to hear the words. Oh, I fucking hate this fucking chopper. Please let that go aside. Take some time to meditate. Let it go aside. Come at this not from angry. Be open-minded. Uncontrolled Historian knows we need to be open-minded when we're talking about these things on the internet. I'm open-minded to the flat earth. I'm open-minded to the space conspiracy. I come to the conclusion I don't believe the earth is flat. I believe it's a globe. But I'm open-minded in the first place. We're going to do an episode probably one day where people like Historian ask me to do things like measure things, and do, you know, they told me some evidences I can do myself. I'll do them. I'm not going to be like, no, I don't fucking want to. I'll do them. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm open-minded. I'll go and drink in the gay bar. I don't care. Like, I'll kiss a man and find out if I enjoy it. I'll try cocaine. I will, you know, name something that people might see as a social negative, and I'll do it. And I don't care what social says to me, what society says to me. I'm open, bloody-minded. So, do you know what, Hannah? I apologise to you, and I'd like to say, can we put this behind us? Because as humans, if we can't, remember this, Hannah, you've been rude to me, I've been rude to you. We're equal now. You're a woman, I'm a man, we're equal now, right? I'm willing to put all that behind us and move forward together with love. Hannah, if you want to come and join our streams, if you want me to join you in your games, co-op, you know, if you want me to maybe even edit you a video, I've got all the rig, got all the kit, I can edit you some highlights. I'm even tempted to, you know, say I'll try and help you with your endeavours, because I want to show you that I'm genuine. And I actually believe that being accused, the worst thing for me on this whole thing was being accused of not being genuine, because I find it so like, look at me, other people aren't dressing like this. I'm an idiot for being genuine. I'm so genuine that I look like an idiot sometimes. I'm genuinely an idiot. I see it, you know, I see it. So that's the thing I was a bit worried about. So if I can prove it to you, Hannah, not everyone's saying this to me, but you've got that on your shoulder. So maybe I could show you that I'm genuine by offering you my hand and being genuine about it. And you would see that if you contacted me now, I'm not taking the piss, I'm not ripping you. I have done, I said sorry for it. And if you want, in the future, we could play whatever, what is this game? Medieval Dynasty. If it's cooperative, we could play it together. You know, you can come on my stream. I'll share my audience with you. I'm doing it now. And I'll help you to make better videos, teach you to edit if you want. I'll spend some time talking to you on Discord, or, you know, any questions you've got about computers and editing, I can answer them. It's easier for you to just go on YouTube and learn. But if you want me one-to-one to show you I'm genuine, I've offered you that. See if it doesn't materialise. Then you'll be able to judge me for being genuine. Ask me some questions about editing. See if I help you. Am I genuine? I'll prove that I'm genuine in real world, on the ground, boots on the ground action. I'll prove that I'm genuine. I'm offering you, come on my show, right? For a one, I'll pay you to be a guest. Not loads of money like that's offered Martin, but I'll pay you like, say, 20 quid to come on and have a chat, if you want, about your ideas and opinions. Seems fair, doesn't it? A little, you know, chat with a troll. Because I consider what you've done to me trolling, giving me personal attacks on my channel. Little chat with someone. I'll do that. I'm open to that. But really what I'd rather do is help you with your content, because I see you as a struggling content creator who is uploading to YouTube. I don't know why. Maybe it's just for your friends. But nobody watched this broadcast at all. Nobody. I've never had a video with no views, so I feel a little bit sorry for you in that aspect. And I know exactly what you can do to make it better. I've got all the knowledge up here. And I'm not selfish. I'll share it with you. I'm not a stream scheme channel. I'm not teaching people ideas on how to make videos on YouTube. That's not my work. But privately, on a Discord, in a chat, I'll do it for you. I'll help you to show you I'm genuine. And hopefully, after that, you'll know in your heart who to trust. You'll know that Martin's not offering you this sort of stuff. He's trying to confuse you for his own personal gain. You'll know that I'm actually doing things in my own free time to help somebody as a human. And if you can get over that, if you can get over the chip on your shoulder, oh, he's having a go at me about my content, oh, he's saying I'm shit. Because Hannah, you came to my channel to give me shit.
Stress me out.
Yeah, you came to my channel to give me shit. So if you can get over whatever feelings you've got, because I know you'll be having the feelings right now. I know you'll be having the feelings. You'll be getting hot and angry inside because Scotty Hottie's on the internet saying how good he is and how shit you are. I'm trying not to do it. Come on. So if you can just get over that, if we can move forward together, that ball is in your court now, Hannah. The choice is yours. Contact me again, and I'll show you my genuine quality. I'm just going to reply to you here as well, make sure. I have done the stream now. Check out the latest on this channel, it is just for you. Is that right? I have done the stream now. Check out the latest on this channel. It is just for you. Just to be sure I'm getting the punctuation and grammar right, because I've been a pedant about hers. I'm going to make each one of these its own sentence, because sometimes I'm not sure as to when I'm using a comma or not. Sometimes I'm not. I remember, do you know what? I'm a bit weird. My sister calls me autistic. She's not joking. She's being serious. But I'm not joking about autism because it is serious. But I seem to remember a lot of things that other people don't seem to remember in the same way. And I remember learning about commas in primary school. I remember Mr. Williams, the teacher, drawing the thing on the blackboard. He had this sentence and he described it as like a train tracks, the sentence, and the comma was like a little diversion for the train. And the train comes off, but it wants to go back on the track, the main track, so it gets back on the main track. And I could never remember whether there was a second comma to get back on the main track or not. But I remember the lesson anyway. Weird little thing. So I've done this stream now. Check out the latest on this channel. It is just for you. I hope we can find some resolution. And that's enough for me. I think I'm being genuine. Reply. I hope she finds the video, you know, because I hope she finds this message and that we do get to move forward together. And it would be my great hope, the best outcome here, right? The best outcome for me is that Hannah and me end up doing a couple of streams together. Her content improves. She finds happiness through my help. And that maybe in some years down the line, she looks back and says, you know what? I can't believe that I met you through this funny video about this funny man on the internet and his bullshit. Because I think all Martin's stuff is a load of bullshit, remember? You know, Martin's bullshit and our argument brought us together. And now look at our lovely, beautiful children. Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, I'm not suggesting we are actually going to have children. I'm just saying, like, the best outcome would be something positive to come out of it, wouldn't it? Something positive. Oh, look, she subscribed to Sean Atwood. Sean Atwood's gone well off the boil recently. Since Wildman died, Sean Atwood's completely lost his way. But, you know, we've got things in common there. I know about Sean and his work. You know, I'm a big fan of the Wild Man. I'm a bit of a wild man myself. And he's that ragger. She likes ragger music. D&B, I'm a drum and bass DJ. I can slam 4 decks. I'm a really good drum and bass DJ. I bet we've got loads in common. So it's such a shame that we've fallen out over this one stupid thing on the internet when Martin Liedtke and his shit, you know, what does it really mean to you, Hannah? How important is Martin Liedtke to you? Is Martin Liedtke doing this for you, Hannah? Like helping you and moving forward. He's offering you some solace. He's offering you some comfort. Does Martin Liedtke do Mental Health Monday every Monday, 8 p.m. GMT, trying to help people in the world? Does Martin Liedtke give charity money every week, or at least has not done in the last 2 weeks because he's been quite busy and then the Queen died and all sorts of shit's going on at his house with his family? But it's by the by, Hannah. My only way of proving my genuine quality to you is on a one-to-one basis and for you to trust me a little and see where it goes. That's rock metal as well. I love rock metal. Come on, we're into the same shit, Hannah. We're on the same page, Hannah. Sorry, I called you Hannah. I'm sure we could find some common ground and move forward. And hopefully that's the resolution that comes out of this. If not, you know, if you don't want to contact me, if you feel angry and you leave it at that, so be it, Hannah. So be it. You've only got one life. Remember, being angry and being inside is not good. She'll get over the anger to collect her £20. I think a cash incentive is not. I'm not incentivizing her with cash to like try and be cheeky. It's because I believe that people's time is valuable, and so I'm hopefully respectful enough. I can't afford a lot, we all know this, but I'm offering Steve of the Dead £40 for a proper episode. I'm offering Martin Liedtke £200 because he's a big cheese for a full sit-down interview in my interview room, and I'm offering Hannah £20 for a conversational hour-long, maybe. I don't know where it's going to go. We'd have to do a little test beforehand. I need to talk to her to find out if she's going to come on and shout rude things. But, you know, a little conversational stream, having a chat even. Just, you know, we met on this funny platform through this funny circumstance. She watched my video. She decided to come on. And hopefully by the end of it, we don't hate each other. Maybe we'll talk about drum and bass and rock and metal and ragga and find common ground. And I'll pay you 20 quid for your time because I'm owning the content. I don't want you to upload it to your channel. I want that to be on my channel. I'm owning the content. I'll pay 20 quid for your time. Steve is a different story. I'm going to give him the option to use the content as well. I hope in the long run we can come to some better, you know, we can make media together, me and Steve. I keep saying it. I really need to push on it today. I'm going to send him another message today. Hannah is a simple one. I want to prove I'm genuine. So I want to offer something that I can back up and prove that I'm genuine. And other people would say it on the internet and then not give her the 20 quid. Other people, yeah, you're feeling cheeky. I'm cheeky too. Other people would say it and not do it. So the only way she can test how genuine I am is to test that. And so I'm making an offer. I think that's fair. So yeah, I'm not going to bash on too much. We're nearly up to 2 hours. I'm going to wait for it to tick over to 2 hours so that it's like a proper 2-hour stream. And then what I'm going to do is I've got other stuff to do. God save the Queen. We've got such a chuffing thing happening today. My mum wants to go. Oh, she's going to go. She's probably gone by the time I finish this stream to London. And I'm worried about her because it's a long day. And I don't know where it come from. But overnight, she decided she wants to go and visit the Queen's coffin. She's going to go with her friend. And I just, you know, honestly, I just think an 8-hour queue is quite a lot. She's doing it on a whim. Maybe she's not taking enough sandwiches. I just worry about her health. Driving all the way to London to do an 8-hour queue. And she's deciding to go down in the night, so the queue's shorter. So she's going to stay up all night. And then she's going to drive home. I'm worried about my mum, basically. I think she's making an irrational, emotional decision. And that's quite the case with my family. They do a lot of that. So I'm not going to stop her, but I'm just going to worry about her. Now, I'm not going to try and argue with her and stop her from doing it, but I'm just going to worry about her. So I'm worried about that today. And in other news, for anyone else that watches the stream, Uncontrolled Story and all the rest of you that think, where's he been all to... I took a little holiday, didn't I? Had a little holiday, and the streaming didn't work while I was on holiday. Hollybob stream, no kilobytes. It was a right shitter. But, on the positive, I got a laptop, and it can stream. And so what I've done, the room we're in right now... I want to show you this, so I want my camera... Properties, cancel. Let me just do this. Camera, I'm so useless sometimes. Camera, filters, and we've got color correction and chroma key. So I'm in a room, look. I'm in a room. You can't really see it. It's an actual room, look. It looks like a nice light. But look, there's a radiator. I'm in an actual room. I'm not just magic on the internet. I'm in a room. And this room is a downstairs front room, and it was my nan's bedroom when we were caring for my nan. But before that, it was my little home salon when I was doing some hairdressing from home. It's a functional front room that we use in the family. And at the moment, we're going through a little bit of turbulence, disruption, because my mum's boyfriend, he sold his house and he's going to move into our house. That's fine. You know, I'm open to loving family and caring for them and helping them. It's going to mean there's another person in the house. Bit more, you know, footfall or whatever what you'd say, a bit more disturbance while I'm streaming. My sister is living somewhere else and is going to have some renovation work done, and she works from the house doing makeup work, so she's going to have renovation work and disruption. She's saying she might not need to use our house, it might not need to be an issue, but in October I predict that there will be my sister living here, my mom's boyfriend, my mom, and four extra people coming in and out the front door. While I'm streaming now, people coming in and out the front door disturb me. I get over it, I get on with it. I'm thinking what I need to do is, this room's a bit big for just one person to be occupying just for a stream. I'm being a bit selfish. We're not all moving to a new house, no. He's bought a new house himself and he's going to move there. He has to stop off here in the middle. And my sister will be going to sell the house she's renovating and buying her own house. You know, it's just temporary. But during that temporary time, I want to offer the flexibility. I want to say to them, look, you're all enjoying yourself down here. I'm just going to go upstairs. We've got an attic bedroom, and I'm going to go up there and be quiet and on my own upstairs. You enjoy. You know, I don't want to go in the other room and say, can you keep the telly down? I'm streaming. Oh, stop coming in and out the door with your friends. I'm streaming. You know, that's rude of me. So what I'm going to do is, I've got the big setup in this room. I'm going to leave it set up in this room. I'm going to clear off a space at that end of the room for my sister to use as a makeup suite if she ever wanted to. So it's there as a flexible option. And then if she said, oh, I've got a client today, but they're digging up the kitchen, can I come to your house? Yeah, absolutely. I've set it up for you. I'll just go upstairs and stream from upstairs. My computer might still be set up, but you can work around that, can't you? Yeah, absolutely. You know, see what I'm saying? Got a little chair in here, haven't I? Got a little sofa chair, got some stuff. She can use this room. All I need to do is clear some stuff away and neaten the place up. And then what's my problem is, well, what am I doing? I'm streaming from upstairs in the attic bedroom. Oh, I'll take the big computer up with me and I'll take this with... No, don't bother with that. Instead, I've got the laptop set up there. I've got lights, you know, that I use here. I need to buy another set of them. So I'm not moving everything up and down, up and down, up and down. I need to almost double up my kit. I'm not going to go stupidly expensive on it, but I'm making a second portable streaming rig. A laptop, a cheap little mixer, a smaller camera, smaller lights, but it's going to work, yeah? Yeah, your nan and granddad used the front room as their bedroom. Granddad was in it. That's what we did here. Nan had to come and live with us because she just couldn't cope. There was a COVID, and so I was using this room as my room. This was my salon. I was running my business out of it. After I closed my hairdressing salon, I still had clients, and I set up a chair and a mirror in this room. There's a mirror right there, you can't see it, and I do them in here. But because of COVID, I thought, look, Nan takes priority, and I'm not going to do any clients because there's a COVID. So fuck off my room. Nan move in. You know, that's by the by. You know, sadly she's dead now, but that's by the by. I got £60 a week for being a carer instead of like £1,000 a week being a hairdresser. Oh my god! And I wasn't earning £1,000 a week by that point. You know, I was just doing a few clients here and there to make ends meet. You know, but I used to earn quite good money as a hairdresser, and I gave it all up. I don't care. It's good. I'm happy being this now. What I'm doing now, I'm happy doing now. Yeah. Anyway, so this room's going to go back to a more functional family room for the family. That's my choice. So we're doing that. I'm going to move upstairs. Not all the time. Sometimes. And that kit, that laptop, that more portable camera, the smaller lights or whatever, I'm going to be able to put it all in a bag, put it on my back and say, right, today I'm off to Amsterdam. See you all, and I'll do my stream from Amsterdam or whatever the fuck I want. Can't I? Once it's working and I know it works and it's of a certain quality, I can start bringing it to the mainstream. At the moment, because I'm testing it and working it out, And of course, I said I wanted to get a podcast going with Steve, and that got backburnered because Steve was a bit busy and I was a bit busy on the holiday, and then I've started doing this room. I want to get to that as well. There's always juggling balls up in the air, but this is one of these juggling balls. So if you go to my channels and battery exhausted, this is my old channel. I got it monetized and moved on from it in a way, but it's come back now because I was practicing streaming on the new stream setup. Look, so I've been testing the stream on the new stream setup. Grammarly. I critique Grammarly because I think you need to learn to spell, really, but this is my new stream setup, and I'm playing some... This one was reacting to Nintendo, but look, there's the room. This is an upstairs room. Obviously, look, it looks shit, doesn't it? The quality of my stream looks shit. Let me just get rid of my on camera filters, chrome me out. So it's not very good quality stream. The camera's not very good. The room's a bit of a mess. I'm just setting it up. I need to get another... In the time that I've done 3 streams on that channel, test streams, and I've improved every time. We've gone from it just being a shit mess to it being a shit mess that can run Genshin Impact with a proper microphone, to a full stream of uninterrupted Hearthstone gameplay with a nice microphone. The next step is now, I know the stream works and I just need a better camera. It's basically a working, running second stream now, so I'm happy that I've made those. It's like behind the scenes work to get another arm to the stream. What it also does is upstairs in that room I've got decks. Like I said to that Hannah that I'm drum and bass. I'll show you how fucking drum and bass I am. I can slam the decks, and I'm going to be slamming them. I need to order a little mixer. I've got a record collection up there. It's another stream that we're going to do. It's going to become a music stream. Not all the time, not on this YouTube channel, but on Twitch, on certain days, I'm going to do music stream. It's going to be fun. It's part of my life. It's part of what I love. I'm going to be able to add another string to the bow. And so with all that said, I've been using Battery Exhausted, the B-side channel, as a B-side again. You know, at night time, I go up in that attic bedroom. At night time, people are sleeping in the house and I go up there and smoke a little and play on the computer a little. I do that as a normal routine, but I'm never on stream while I do it because I'm usually playing on my phone. I'm up in the attic bedroom. It's a bit of a mess. You know, it's like a box room that we use for rubbish. It's not got new curtains or blinds or anything, you know, it's a rubbishy room. And Scotty Gotti's allowed to smoke up there out the window with the fan on. So I'm not supposed to be smoking here, but Mom's off to London today, so I'm chiefing it. But so
It's raining again. I couldn't be happier.
I don't have to wave my arms anymore for the tippies. I don't have to. Thank you for the tippies, snippies. I'll turn to them in just a second. I'm just going to finish off this one little point, what I'm saying here. The second stream, actually I will, because you might be saying something about the second stream, is like a chill out room. Yeah. Where sometimes I'm going to play some drum and bass, like I'm going to turn it into a bit of a rave. But it's a good time for a tippy. I tell you what, it's always a good time for a tippy for me. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. That's going to pay for that episode with that girl if she ever wants to come on. I really do appreciate it though, because I wouldn't be able to buy a laptop if it wasn't for those tippies. You know, it's quite a big expense for me to be having 2 computers in the same house that do the same thing. Oh, what am I doing, a chuffer? I can't move this big box around, and the flexibility of the laptop is something else. The stream quality is not quite as good because this big box is a bit better. Can't do Flight Simulator on the laptop, but, you know, I had to make some... accept some things. That's just how it is. The upstairs room is a good chill-out room now. We're going to have slamming drum and bass maybe sometimes. I'm not trying to shout that from the rooftops, you know. You won't even see it if you're not interested, because I'll do it on Twitch, on the music channel on Twitch, so don't worry. But other times we're going to have this look. I'm just chilling, I'm just playing a game, and I've got a YouTube video in the top corner, and I'm just chilling in my attic room, look. Listening to a podcast, playing a bit of a game. You know, real chill out stream. Not what we're doing today. So now we've got some differences, and that's why I wanted to say I've been doing this secretly behind the scenes to get it set up on the B-side channel. Now it's getting there, I can invite you into it. The B-side channel's that chill out. Makes sense. It makes sense. Evenings, late nights for me. When it's late at night for me and I'm up there smoking, I might as well be on stream if I'm playing a little bit of Hearthstone. Whatever. There's that. We've got what we're on now, Ganji Kid, the main stream channel. And of course, I upload everything we do on Twitch here as an archive. So you will see the drum and bass music come on here. It will arrive as a video, but it won't, you know, be piecemeal, few and far between, little variety. And and other music. I've got all sorts of vinyls. I've got all sorts of vinyls, mate. You know, a vinyl collector, so we'll bring that to stream. Words on stream will continue. So, you know what I'm saying? On this stream, I upload everything to this channel, and also in the daytimes, I'm come on YouTube to do chat like this. I talk about Tartaria, I talk about Boris, I talk about space, I talk about prison, I talk about words on stream we do on Wednesdays. We've got to get back to it. Mental Health Monday should now move here, maybe. All this stuff, I try and have a reason for streaming. It's like a show. It's like an episode. I look at something, I write some notes. As you've seen today, I get a little bit of research going. I do some websites. And if I'm honest, only the first one that came up on Google today. You know, I saw this comment today and I wanted to be quick. So if I'm honest, today, this is just like first thing that, sorry, Ecosia. I don't use Google, I use Ecosia. The first thing that came up on Ecosia, but it was what I wanted. But sometimes I spend a bit more time. I used to sit in that upstairs room on my phone making notes. And then the next day, that would be my stream that I'd made notes the night before, smoking and thinking. You know, I do a proper show on this episodic channel on Ganji Kid, the main stream. So I didn't want to just do my B-side stream here and be rough and all that, which is why I'm really lucky that I've got a B-side channel where anything can sort of go, anything goes, rough and ready sometimes. You'll see me streaming on there more and more often. It's a scrapbook channel of all sorts of stuff over the years. I played a full game. I streamed on Twitch and uploaded the games to here after I edited them. So I've got edited videos from Twitch. Now we've got a channel for that. But before that, I used to make video essays about veganism. And before that, like, this has been a scrapbook channel for a long time. Before that, it was just all my little videos that I had. Let's go right to the start and I'll show you what I mean. Come on, you chuffle with the mouse. I'm the chuffle with the mouse. Sort by oldest. Like, my very first videos on here, Reading with Ruby, Whisper Town, which was an ASMR B-side, Match of the Day interview, where I was interviewed for Match of the Day. Well, I was in a football ground doing a bit of video for a documentary, and because they had the background in the football. This is at Stoke City Football Club, and I'm in the football club backstage, and I've seen this thing, and I said to my mate, film me as if I'm on Match of the Day, mate, film me. Felt that we could have spread the ball throughout the midfield a little more, but, you know, keeping possession, and at the end of the day, not conceding any goals is the most important thing. They did use a lot of Boca, you know, in Match of the Day they have, it's all just, anyway, don't talk about the camera, it doesn't matter about the camera settings, but isn't that funny? Look, I'm on Match of the Day, ha, and, you know, little things like my dog singing and stuff like that, all the shit that people upload to YouTube. Like, you know, this is my scrapbook YouTube channel. Well, now it's my B-side channel for stream B-sides. Whatever. My old rescue boy. He's got a cheeseburger, look. I just give him the bag. He's gone with it. You're never getting that back. It's a cheeseburger, mate. What do you think of that? Oh, lucky boy. Oh, I loved him so much.
He's a good boy. I'm sure
he's a good boy. Like, because he's seen me with McDonald's bags. This is back before I was a vegan. He sees me with McDonald's bags. He never gets a thing. So I just bought him his own cheeseburger off the drive-thru once and fucking gave it him. Oh, Navin, you lucky boy. He had a good life with me. Yeah, so, you know, this was a load of scrapbook. And now it makes sense. Not my most popular video with 80,000 views, Eddie Hall documentary. You want to watch that, mate? You want to watch that? That's me making a documentary on my own. Well, not on my own. I was a part of a documentary crew, and I was, you know, filming the documentary, and I used some of my B-side footage. I said, do you need this stuff? Because I could put it on my channel if we're not going to use it for the film. And they said, yeah, go on, use it for your channel. So I did. Here's another one. This is a cut from that exact thing. Look, check this out. What is this? This is strongman Dimitar Savatinov. He's even got a strong head, look. And this is the... I don't know what's going on. But this was my job on this project, was to go around and film shit and be present. And I was actually a sound man, but I got loads of really cool shots for them that went in the film. So I became a cameraman as well, and eventually executive producer. which is just a fancy title for we did offer you 5% of the film, but we're not going to give you the 5% as promised on the handshake. So now you've got a title that goes on the video, and it makes you feel good. All blow smoke up your ass, but I did feel a little bit aggrieved when I wanted my 5% and I didn't get it. But anyway, that's by the by. Look, the videos like that you don't find anywhere else. All this scrapbook stuff. That was what this channel was. And now it makes sense because it's my B-side. Still my B-side. As I'm streaming, it's my B-side stream. So you're going to get me on stream, up in the upstairs room. I'll do it late nights and days when it's too busy down here for me to work. I've got a flexible option. So that's why I've not been here on the main channel for the last week. Went on a little holiday the week before, down to the south of England. Had a lot of wet weather in Port Morguth or something. A lot of wet weather, but it was great to be on the beach with the dog. And then I've come back and I've got this bug bit in my mind about, my family have told me this disruption is on the horizon. So I'm working hard to make sure that we don't get disrupted by disrupting my stream. So that's where I've been. So I would encourage you now to find Battery Exhausted. I might even change the name to Gravekipper or something, because Battery Exhausted is very hard. Look, when you type into Google, Battery Exhausted, what you actually get is a load of... I get my videos because it's me, but what you actually get is a load of shit about the camera. And, you're not getting any... I've got a channel called Battery Exhausted. Why aren't my videos coming up? They're all about cameras. It's because obviously Battery Exhausted in the algorithm, it's a bad name, isn't it? So the only real way to find it, and it is a B-side channel, so you don't need to find it unless I direct you there, is through me directing you there on this page. Ganji Kid, channels, Battery Exhausted. I'll tell you something else that's taken off. Ganji Clips, I've let neglect, but Ganji Cuts, I've been uploading. Now, I stream on Twitch, and I stream a lot of stuff that you don't see on Twitch, a lot of the games, a lot of the Genshin Impact. Well, some of the stuff that we do during that is like what I'm doing now, a little side avenue, a little bit of chuff, whatever. And I cut the little bits out and put them onto this channel, Ganji Cuts. So this is only Twitch stuff. Not really, there are some YouTube cuts, but not really YouTube stuff, just Twitch stuff. And you probably didn't see it because you watch me on YouTube. So you probably didn't see me going on about Kim Petras and her bobs, or Keala's bullying body language of Brendan Schwab. So if you want to see some other clips and cuts, some of it's Genshin Impact, you might not be interested, fine. But some of it isn't. Have a look at Ganji Cuts. I upload there as well. And I'm really lucky, unlike Hannah, this has been taking off a little bit. My most popular video there has got nearly 10,000 views now. And it's me talking about music, which I love. Genshin Impact music. So it's not the game, it's the music. So you might find some interest in that, a passion and joy. And I'm lucky that's drawing in views, because what happens is the people watch that and then they come over to this channel and watch my Genshin Impact playthrough. The channel we're watching now, the videos, look. So now I'm really lucky. Look, I'm getting 30 views on the Genshin Impact videos, 50 views on the latest one. Plus, over on Twitch, like, things are moving for us now. Things are actually starting to move.
Enemies above.
On Twitch, I got these videos, like this, the Genshin Impact playthrough exists as a video on Twitch. It comes down. It's there for 2 weeks, then Twitch remove it. They don't let me have permanent storage. But I get 30 views, 40 views on that. So you add them together, I'm nearly at 100 views on my Genshin Impact work. So that's growing. And this channel and these channels are helping it to grow. So we've got various channels: ASMR channel, guitar music channel, mental health channel, cuts and edits, art edits, Battery Exhausted, now the B-side. There's lots for you, depending on what you want, what you're in it for. The main channel, the hub here, is an avenue to these other things. Whichever one takes your fancy, have a look at it. We're going to add one more new channel to this in the coming weeks and months, which is the music. I'm going to be mixing on the decks. I'm going to be doing drum and bass mixes, garage mixes. I'm not going to be doing anything modern. I don't have any dubstep records. They can fuck off. The year 2001 was when I stopped buying vinyl records for dance music. Anything later than that can fuck off. I'm an old fuddy-duddy now. But I've also got loads. I got my parents' vinyl collection. I went out and bought vinyl. I've got like Rastaman, Vibration, Bob Marley. I've got real classics on vinyl as well. And whilst the copyright might be an issue, I might still play a few tunes for you, have a laugh, a few vinyl streams. So we're going to add the vinyl channel, and it's also going to include, I make music, and I have been making music, never stopped, And I use this program called Reason, which I can show you now. Yeah, there it is. So this is a program that makes music. Well, I make the music in the program. And I've done some new songs recently, some new tracks. So if I just open one and play it for you. And I'll stop the background music of Zelda. This is one of my new tracks. So this needs a place to live, and it's going to live on my music channel. On my dance music, electronic music channel. Not my guitar music channel, but a new channel. Just realised we've got Genshin Impact money spent on the screen. We don't need that. So make sure to check it all out. Subscribe to it all. More and more is coming. Oh yeah, don't talk. Don't talk to me about shelters, yeah. If I go in a dog shelter, I have to go out with a dog, don't I? So that's what I did. That's what I did. I only went up there to donate some stuff. I did think about getting it. I thought I'll donate some stuff, I'll have a little look. Came out with the most difficult dog in the place. And we love them. We love them, don't we? So big things are coming. The channel's growing, getting more eyes on us from different areas of the internet. Genshin Impact, I am now officially a Genshin Impact streamer. On Twitch, I stream Genshin Impact quite a lot. I'm also a variety streamer. Got a psychologist that we're in talks with about bringing a psychologist on to create a podcasty sort of psychology conversational thing on a regular. We've got more and more of what I'm doing here. We're adding to it with more and more upstairs. I call it the upstairs chill out, you know, whatever. More of that. And we've got Mental Health Monday is going to make a resurgence. I'm going to bring it back. At the moment it's on the back burner. ASMR is always there for you if you want it. I've got guitar music and we're going to add in electronic music and vinyl, you know, vinyl appreciation. So big things are going on, always growing, always moving forward. There's always something good for you here. It might be that, as I said, I do appreciate for about 2 weeks now, where's my last words? It's probably nearly a month ago, isn't it? 3 weeks now, 4 weeks. So we need to get back to the things that are good. You know, some people might have left the channel. Where's Words? I only watch Words. Where's Words? He's gone away. I've not gone away. Give it a bit of time. Give me a bit of time to get everything. You know, I do everything myself. I edit all these things myself. I work on all this stuff myself. Now today, I've got to go on the internet and do research about mixers and, you know, buying stuff is a chore for me. I have to do the right research. I have to get the right camera. This behind the scenes stuff, editing, all that. We've been away. I've been back. It's all going to come good. The consistency with variety will be there. So, you know, if you're ever thinking, oh, where is Words? Or we haven't done a Tartaria for a bit, or whatever, you know, whatever you want, tell me in comments, make it known to me, but give me a bit of time, and more you'll see that I'm more and more in step with it, more and more in sync with it. I mean, for Christ's sake, it's been a year before I could come on stream and not have to check the sound. Where's this plugged in? Why is that not working? You know, a little thing like that, knowing that I turn it on, it fucking works. Right, let's go. Right, that's taken me a bit of time, but now we've got there. Same thing upstairs. A little bit of time, we'll get there. And then when it's, you know, maybe next year, you'll look back and say, oh wow, like, you know, went from being just a chuffer in front of a computer to being a chuffer talking to somebody else in front of a computer. We'll add to it. We'll improve. I don't think you should ever say we're still getting Steve. I think we will still get Steve. I'm going to bravely contact him again today. It's my own inhibition that's holding me back now. But yeah, it will all come. It'll all come, you know. There's a lot of work for me to do to make sure I'm consistent. I'm not a consistent sort of person. I have off days, I have down days, suffer from depression, fight my way through it. You know, I'm not promising every day I'm on here at 2 o'clock. I tried to. I didn't get up today in time to do that. When I did get up, I had to fuck around with the dogs and stuff. It will come. It will come. Okay? But yeah, words. Sword. Hello, Typical Trill. What am I smoking? That's got no... Thanks for liking the music. I appreciate it because, you know, I work hard on it. What am I smoking? I'm going to say cigarettes, but obviously I'm not going to... How do I say this? In the UK, marijuana is illegal, and to promote marijuana on your YouTube channel is therefore illegal. If I were to be in Canada where it's legal, I could have a whole channel about the different strains and the different types and talk about it on camera. And if I did, I'd have to click a little box on YouTube that says I'm talking about drugs in a promotional sense. There's like an advertiser-friendly way to go through it. So due to the terms of service, I'm not going to promote marijuana on my channel. Because I'm in the UK and it's illegal, harmful acts, I'm not going to promote it on my channel. So I'm smoking cigarettes and no one could ever determine exactly what I'm smoking. I hope you understand. I would also say smoking's really bad, and I've got this thing, this vaporizer thing. I'm supposed to be using this. I'm trying to wean myself off cigarettes. I find the streaming to be one of the more stressful and, you know, like, I don't know if you realise, but before I start streaming I feel a little bit nervous because I'm about to talk to the world. Anyone can tune in, I'm doing the talking, it's all on me. Feel a little bit nervous, so smoking is one of the things that I rely on to help me feel less nervous. So unfortunately I'm doing it on stream a bit more than I should. I used to do this, I used to go like this. And smoke off camera. But talking being disingenuous, I find that, like, it's obvious what I'm doing. I'm trying to hide it from the kids because I don't want to create a bad example. You know, look at that man on the internet smoking, I might smoke. I don't want to do that, but at the bottom line, I am who I am, and I can't hide it. I can't go off here and pretend and come back and, you know, I can't hide it. I'm honestly who I am. So to my positive character traits, I deserve commendation, and to my negatives, I deserve, I'm going to get what I fucking deserve, aren't I? It's going to fucking kill me. But to my negatives, you know, I take on the chin that I shouldn't. No, if you want to smoke some weed in your own home, I'm not going to say that's bad. In fact, if you want to come around my home and smoke some with me, we can do that. I can't say it on the internet. Obviously, I wouldn't say that on the internet, but we could do that, and, you know, we could have some fun, couldn't we? You know, I'm not going to be... No, I'm not like, oh, you should smoke a vapor, you fucking dirty smoker. But in me, for my personal feeling, I don't want to project that as a good value. I think it's a bit of a negative. Even though the culture around counterculture and marijuana use can be seen in positive ways, the smoking of it and harming your health, bottom line, don't encourage kids to do it. Do not. You know, these days it's vaporizers and all sorts of other things, isn't it? So, you know, go to Amsterdam. I'll take the computer to Amsterdam, we can talk further. Take the laptop to Amsterdam on holiday and we can talk further. But from Great Britain, on the UK context, I don't think it's I think it could be, you could argue both. You could probably do a marijuana channel in the UK and get away with it, and argue to YouTube that it's okay because of international rules and, you know, it's not illegal where you are and whatever. But for me, that's my personal feelings on it. So and yeah, so that's what I'm going to say. You got it. Okay, good. I should make a video. Oh, you're talking Genshin. Oh, you're a Genshin. Reviewing Genshin outfits. I enjoyed... See my heart lift when you said Genshin. I enjoyed listening to you go on about outfits in last stream. Thanks. I will. That's a good idea. I only did the shoes, didn't I? But we should review the whole outfits. I do like looking at the Genshin fashion. You know, I do judge my Genshin characters by their fashion choices and not their attack rate. I want to make the squad based on fashion choices, not on attack rate and personalities. But yeah, it's a lovely game, isn't it? With some really cool stuff in it. So I will be taking that on board, and that's a really good idea. Yeah, we'll be talking more about Genshin fashion. We've got a cosplay promise. You know, Snippy's has tippied the money. We've got a cosplay promise. When we hit 1,000 subs on this channel, I will do a Paimon cosplay episode where I dress as Paimon. God help me. I've said it, so I'll do it. I'm genuine. Yeah. So yeah, I've blown my own trumpet there at the end. I've told you where I've been. I've told you what's happening. Now I have to go and be it and happen it. I've got to get off the internet, talk to my mom, see what's going on with her situation going to London, talk to my sister, upload the new video on Ganji Cuts, edit another video for Ganji Cuts, tidy more upstairs, order a new, what's the next item I'm ordering? A mixer for the vinyl decks, clean up and move the vinyl. Like, I've got this huge list of things to do. So walk the dog in the woods, that's another one. My sister's coming back today, her dog's here, I'm supposed to be looking after 2 dogs. And then later on get on stream in the evening upstairs to do a little behind the scenes battery exhausted stream where I'm just chilling and just doing whatever, not presenting a stream like we've done now with notes and the black tie and the formal, but just, you know, the stream's on, I'm in my gym jams, I'm on the computer playing games and listening to YouTube, so you might as well join me if you want. You know, that's what's happening for the rest of the day. So I invite you to be good, my little puckots. Cosplay request Adamant. Hang on. Wait here. Right, cosplay request Adamant. Wait here. I probably haven't got exactly the... But wait. Open image in a new tab. Wait. Don't go anywhere. Right, don't go anywhere. Prince Charming, ridiculous, nothing to be scared of. Prince Charming. Is that the right song? Is that Adamant? This is the closest I've got. I got fucking told for wearing this once. I got told. I got this jacket out of a charity shop. It's you, isn't it, historian, that's got RAF connections, isn't it? It's you that's got the RAF connections, isn't it? Got the white face paint, look. I got it all ready to go. Adamant, cosplay requested. Request accepted. I haven't got the perfect... he's wearing a military style buttons jacket. I've got a military style buttons jacket. Close enough. Got the white face paint. I'm Adamant, mate. What would you want from me? Get my hair out. Hang on. Adamant. I'm adamant. Adamant. Who do you think you are, Adamant? You think you're Adamant, do you? You think you're Adamant? You don't know nothing like Adamant. I'm alright. I've got the white face paint. Well, Adamant's got white face paint. You ain't got white Adamant. Who do you think you are, Adamant? Oh no, they left me on the bad me. I'm the bad me. Adamant, mate. I'll tell you the little story about this jacket and then we'll get off. Great, I've got this shit in my face now. It's making my nose itch. I can't itch it because it's got this on it. I've got this jacket from the charity shop, right? I saw it in the charity shop and I thought, fucking yeah. Oh, hello, AAK Megs. Megs. I'll call you Megs then. I'll call you Megs. Thank you for your tippies. Let's get your tippies on the go. Let's have a look at what you said. I need to be a bit quicker on the tippies thing. I need to have a button for it. I'll get a button for it. Got some buttons now that do this. Oh, you got buttons? You think you got buttons? You think about your buttons? Oh, loosen up my buttons, baby. Oh, touch me buttons, baby. Oh, loosen up me buttons. What are you doing, mate? Calm down. Oh, you tell me to calm down. Don't you tell me to calm down. I'll tell you to calm down, if anything. Alright. good job, loving my streams. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It all goes into the Tippy's kitty, and it all makes a difference. And it's silly little things like buying some face paint in a frivolous Amazon choice. Wouldn't be available to me as a person struggling on the breadline as I am if it weren't for your tippies. So I really do appreciate it. I do. Everyone makes a difference. And it's like, I always say this about being a bit of a snowflake, a bit of a, they call us snowflakes sometimes for being a bit socially conscious. I say, well, every snowflake together, put them all together, you've got an avalanche. Every little raindrop, you're just one little light in the world, one little flame flickering in the darkness, aren't you? You, for me today, have been a flame in the darkness. I'd been heartened by your tippies there. It makes a difference to me. Every little bit counts. You put them all together and you fucking little flames in the darkness are a giant inferno burning the house down. So never ever feel like, small things that you do, not small, not big. I'm not trying to say it's small. It's quite a big thing to go on the internet and tippy someone out of your own pocket. That's quite a big thing. Little things you do in the world that spread a little bit of good and love like that, it ripples out, it does. And to me, it's like a burning fire. It's not a little candle, it's a burning fire. Remember that, you're important. Prince Charming, Prince Charming, nothing to be scared of. That's the words, isn't it? Ridiculous, nothing to be scared of. I think that's the words from what I can hear. Ridiculous, nothing to be scared of. So I got this jacket from the charity shop, and I thought it's fucking snazzy. And it is. It is, man. Look at it. Snazmunger. Snazmungus. Look at me, I'm a snazmeister. I'm snazzing up the town, mate. I'm snazzed. Snazzing out the rum pot. I've got snaz pouring out my bumhole. Snaz. Oh, he's got snaz coming out of both ends, mate. Oh, you don't want to go near him. Snazzed. I thought it was so snazzy. I was a hairdresser, dressing in my smart hairdressing clothes. I'm snazzy, right? And so I bought it from the charity shop and I'm wearing the fucker. Because I'm an idiot. Didn't I tell you I'm an idiot? I did tell you, didn't I? I'm an idiot. So I'm wearing this fucker and snazmataz. And I'm wearing this and I'm in the pub. And this guy come up to me in the pub and he says, were you in the RAF? And you could see he's angry. And obviously I've said, no, I'm not. I'm a hairdresser. Whee! Anyways, I'm talking to my mate and he goes, because you know that, and he wasn't finished. He was like, because you know, and I was like, hello. And he goes, because you know that wearing these clothes that you didn't, they're medals and you didn't earn them. And I think he was worried that I was going to say, oh yes, I was in the RAF. I was. And tell lies. Stolen valor. Stolen valor. I thought he was going to, I think he was going to say something like, you take that off and pretending. Or if I'd said, yes, I was in the RAF, he was going to ask me a question I wouldn't be able to answer and prove it. He was eggy. He was eggy. He was well eggy when he saw me in this. I'm missing a button, I think. He was well eggy when he saw me in this anyway. And I look like Prince William, don't I? Look. He was well eggy. Right, so I made it clear. I was like, oh, I see where you're coming from. Absolutely, I agree. I've got absolute utmost respect for the armed forces, and I do. This is the truth. People risk their lives on a daily basis for me to be free. They, in the past, have gone through such struggle, doing the things in the armed forces on a daily, being disciplined and turning up, showing up, getting out of bed, showing up on days when there's no war, where you're just going through the discipline for the sake of the discipline, just in case things kick off and you're needed. Oh, I've got so much respect for that. My fencing coach was a major in the army, and he instilled that military discipline in us. He told us stories. He made me feel some sort of romance towards the armed forces, and I've got this utmost respect for everything. Poppy Day, I'm out there. I give my money to the British Legion. I turn up. I'm out there. In fact, my neighbour is going to stop doing my neighbour's been the person that collects the poppies. He's always, every poppy day, he goes rounds with the poppies, collects the money, and he's about to probably have to stop doing that because of his health. So maybe I should take over. There's a good point. So yeah, I'm really, I said this to the guy. I said, I'm really, he said he was from the RAF, and I said, thank you very much for your service. Can I buy you a drink? And we were friends after that. But this nearly caused me to get my fucking head kicked in. This nearly, Scotty Hottie, being a, you know, frivolous hairdresser. And I looked like a frivolous hairdresser. I had a haircut and, you know, glass of champagne in the bar. Like, rah, rah, rah. And this guy come up to me and he was going to kick my head in. This jacket nearly got, so I don't wear it anymore. Not even for fancy dress. I just keep it for myself and the bedroom. You know, but I don't have cause to wear this anymore. But it was a brilliant purchase from the fancy dress. I'm so glad I did. Got white face paint on the bugger now. You know, and you know, who put that in the charity shop? They're the ones that should feel ashamed. This was somebody's actual, you know, actual honour. The actual, I don't know what the medals mean, but somebody that's like, isn't this like their granddad's jacket or their nan's? I don't know whose it is, but you know, maybe it was just shop tarnished extra. I don't know, but now I own it. It's mine, and I could dress up as Adamant. So thanks for your suggestions. I'm glad we got that little bit of extra in the end of the episode. Didn't see that coming, did you? Looks a bit like Johnny Depp in a way, doesn't he? Looks a bit like Johnny Depp. Obviously, he's not still doing so well these days. Is he? He's not doing so. Looks like a bad Johnny Depp impersonator there now, doesn't he? Like these days, you might say maybe it's time to. You know how I retired this? Maybe it's time for him to retire the look. Don't come across so well when you're these days, does it? It looks a bit scary, if anything. Looks a bit more like he's in one of those weird political parties, like the Monster Raving Loony Party, doesn't it? Nowadays, Adamant looks a bit more like Screaming Lord Such. Doesn't he? Like nowadays. Open image in a new tab. You know, Screaming Lord Such. Adamant. Screaming Lord Such. Are you sure that's even him? I don't know, I just asked the internet. There it is. Adamant Health Latest. Stars bipolar symptoms. Oh dear. Stars bipolar disorder. Right, so it turned out that wasn't just a costume then. Ooh. I don't know where we're going with this. I don't like it. We'll cover it in Mental Health Monday, maybe. I'm not dissing anyone for being bipolar, for Christ's sake. Yeah, anyway. You be good, my little puckos, and if you can't be good, you're naughty. Remember, if you can't be good, you're naughty. Hopefully Hannah will contact me and we can see about doing some content together. You never know. I'll see you on the B